She, took this kid, this 1-year-old child, as their daughter. Well, you guys are going to punch the wall. They asked this kid when she was, I think, 7, 8, maybe 9, do you ever feel like a boy? And she didn't know what they really meant. She said yes. So they chopped her hair off. They gave her a boy's name. I know this. I'm going to throw up my lunch, but I got to tell you this because it's a problem. And dressed her like a boy. Changed her name. I loved that little girl. I played with her twice out on Long Island. And Frisbee, whatever. I ran around. Yeah, she was a sweet girl. They confused this kid before she had obviously the wherewithal to even know what the hell they were asking her. And she's so confused. I feel like adopting this poor kid. These two just split up, and the lady went back to the original father, went back to hetero, and this other lady is stuck, and she took the kid with her. I'll send it over to you, George, first. I mean, I actually saw this happen.
Well, the lunatics are in control here. Hopefully we can stem the tide a little bit. If we could make it to November without that H.R. 1S1 legalized voting cheating bill getting passed. But the root problem in my mind, honestly, is the media, because the media is complicit. If we had a normal media that would assess things accurately, I don't care who's right or who's wrong, which side. I'm not going to say both sides are wrong all the same amount of time. No, sorry. The left they're batshit crazy today. But if we had a normal media that would just present, the truth, not suppress things, I think it would be different. But they have the media. That's a big thing, and academia, and they're poisoning the minds of the children. And they've got a lot of influence now with corporations. Look at these commercials. And I don't care who marries who does what, but every single commercial, has either an interracial or a gay couple of one type or another. Every single commercial. So there's no more Caucasian families anymore. When do you see a white husband with a white wife and a white kid in a commercial? Never. And I don't care. I don't care who loves who. It's fine, Even if I had children, I wouldn't care. If they were happy, you're happy, that's fine. But it's just, intentional. And I don't know. I just hope we can wiggle out from under this heavy thumb that we're under. And to LJO.
Hey, Clark, go ahead.
So to the beginning is I think that those two women should probably be facing jail time. I mean, that's child abuse. It really is. To do something like that to a minor, to confuse them like that on purpose is child abuse. I mean, that's basically psychological torture to do that. If you want to have a meaningful conversation with an 18-year-old and up about their gender, that's okay, because that person is now more in a position for making decisions. Although I think 18 is still a little bit young, they still haven't really figured stuff out yet. But when you're in the single digits, to start determining gender for the child, I mean, we're all in agreement. I mean, I'm not really contributing anything to the conversation here. I don't think that we all think different things about this, but I think that that's a legitimate jail time. I think that is child abuse. It is definitely a form of child abuse to ask a 7-year-old Do you feel like a boy? What do they know? And act on it. That's jail time. That's child abuse. And as far as what George was commenting on, the oh crap, what was that? Anyway, all right. I'm not gonna drag the frequency out. I had two quiet. Darn it, people on the 146.52 making noise. I think that I'll just turn the conversation back to you in the moment I unkey. I'll think of what I was going to say. N1 BCG.
Commercials. You were going to talk about commercials.
Oh, you're right, George. Freaking hell, quiet. Yeah, good. Listen all you want. Get on 3885 if you want to talk to people, not 2 meters. So the commercial thing. See, now this is my area here, because I'm all about marketing and advertising, and psychology, and so this is like a woke boomerang here. That I don't know who the media buyers are, and I don't know who the people approving this crap is at these companies, but I think that everyone is scared shitless to say no, we're not going to do it. But let's get this real here for a second. Like it or not, the country is made up of a certain pie graph of demographics and ethnicities. So if you want to take your product and you want to micro target it to mixed race couples, then go right ahead. The problem is this, and this is a rule of marketing. You actually should be designing your campaign so that people won't be offended, because people don't notice things unless it pisses them off. And I know it sounds really kind of pathetic. It's like, no, you should create a marketing campaign that people will get excited over. But the problem is there's so much out there that people don't recognize the things that they appreciate as much as they recognize the things that piss them off, which is just sort of a sad state of affairs, but we're human beings and that's how we are, like it or leave it. So if you have a campaign that starts to monkey with stuff, if you start to dabble in sociological issues like, should we have an all-white cast, should we have a mixed cast, should we have a Latino or an African-American cast, or however you do it, and you target that to the mainstream, you're going to F yourself up. Because what's going to happen is people are going to look at these ads if it's TV, or they're going to listen to the ads if it's radio, for example, or look if it's print, and they're going to say, this ad does not appeal to me. It doesn't mean that they're angry at what they see, but they make a decision within the first few seconds of seeing something, and that's proven in decades and decades of focus groups and studies, that people make decisions as far as what relates to them and what doesn't. It's part of the selective attention process. Is this relevant to me, and is this relevant to my life? That's just how shallow people are. Because if we looked at something and interpreted it as everything is relevant, we'd go into mental saturation. So we do this without thinking about it. We filter out what we see and what we experience. So if you see an ad that you can't relate to or doesn't seem natural to you, you tune it out. And these media buyers, these fresh out of college 21-year-olds who are getting their jobs as entry-level media buyers at ad agencies, trying to woke things up, are really screwing things up for these companies. They're supposed to be targeting their advertising to their clients, and they're supposed to be focusing on what is our campaign going to accomplish that A, is going to put our product in a good light, and B, and most of all, which should actually be A, not turn people off. The expression, once you turn someone off, it takes 10 times more effort to get them back once they tune out your product. Sorry, I'm starting to quote my marketing books here. But anyway, that was a very long old buzzer transmission as to why that that woke sociological equity campaign that we're on here, this crusade that the media buyers are on, will backfire in an epic way because they're not taking the basic rules of marketing into consideration. And one BCG.
I think what you're saying makes perfect sense, but it's, orders from the top. Look who's on the board of Netflix: Susan Rice and Barack Obama. Look who met with the television and movie producers many times during his presidency, Barack Obama. So, there's undue influence there, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. And they probably do it as much to piss people off as they do for any other reason. And too old jail. I don't know why I'm losing my voice here.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, Clark.
There's billions and billions or probably trillions of dollars worth of product advertising out there. And I can't believe that they're monkeying with this. But yeah, they're literally applying social justice decisions to marketing campaigns, and it will backfire because they're getting on this they're getting on this righteousness, and yet it actually has no place in psychology, in dealing with the masses, because people haven't changed. People are still people, but the people who are making the decisions have changed, and it will backfire.
Oh yeah, and W2GOR for ID. Yeah, and it's not proportionate to the demographics, like George said, and like you said, it's pushing an agenda. It's not even commensurate with the demographics. It's unnatural and bizarre and weird, and it's not even working. It will backfire, and it will come back. I think in the election, things will come back, and the media. Oh yeah, CNN. From what I heard, 24.9% of it was owned by Arab companies. CNN and MSNBC have a major problem on their hands. This is a whole nother topic. To touch on it lightly, they have lost over collectively 70% of their market share. That's an emergency. If you're a media company, which depends on commercial advertising, as CNN and MSNBC do, and CNN apparently also lost their airport franchise, so they're not simply automatically on in every airport anymore. So they have a I'm sorry, I didn't finish my sentence. They've lost 70% of their market share since Joe Biden took office. So they it would be right for them to be in a red flag emergency mode right now. And then CNN lost its number one rated evening show host, Chris Cuomo. I'm not going to get into that, but it's just from just a business standpoint, they lost their flagship product, and that was after they lost 70% of their market share since Joe Biden took office. So both of those networks, which I refer to as state television because look at the narrative, both of them have an epic business emergency on their plate right now. Well, I hope they go down the drain.
Well, I know there's MSNBC hired this woman as I forget her name, but she's now in charge of programming. She's been on the job, I think, for like 3 months now. I don't know what changes she's made, but I know that she's very pro straightforward news reporting. Can you imagine that? MSNBC, straightforward news reporting? I think that she sounds like she's got her head on straight because she sees what's going on here, and she sees that the opinion programming obviously is not pulling it in anymore, and there's probably pushback, or there's going to be pushback from the agencies, because they rely like 99% on agency buys, and agencies buy on ratings. So if you're MSNBC and CNN and you combine the viewership of both of those networks, and they still don't add up to what a single network like Fox has, you're in a business emergency, like beyond emergency. So I think that MSNBC is going to be the first to make changes, and they're seeing that the opinion shows Donald Trump is bad, the mean tweeter, he's gone. Now what do you do? So I think that they're looking to do more straight-ahead news, which, by the way, they were successful in doing in the past, and the conservative bashing narrative has and is not working for them anymore. So there's a network that you can look to make changes. I just can't imagine what they will end up being.
Okay, George, go ahead.
It's okay. I got to. Hold on. Wait a second.
Yeah, on mine, I don't have a whole lot of room. I can fit one orange drop in there, but I don't think I can fit any more. Well, you'll see it when you come down, because the boards are only like maybe a half inch above the bottom of the chassis, so they're really close, and that's where they are. So it's kind of tight there. Everywhere else it's okay, but right there it's tight.
Yeah, that's the problem with the boards in general, that there's not enough room. Stacking the multi-layer ceramics is definitely the best mechanical solution, because they'll fit.
Right, exactly. Yep.
Bob, Happy New Year to you and your family from W2XR.
Oh, happy New Year, yeah. And hope you had a nice Christmas. We did. Had the Outlaws over, and it was nice. I call them Outlaws. Anyway, we had a nice dinner, and my granddaughter Katie, how old is she now? I think she's like 18, 19. I forget. She brought her boyfriend with her, and I brought him down here in the shack, and he was just flabbergasted. She said that's all he talked about when they left was what a great place. He says, man, that's one hell of a man cave.
Did you fire up the equipment for him?
Yeah, I had everything on. I have 3 32-inch monitors, and I had them all going. And who was that? Oh, Daryl. Daryl was on. I talked to Daryl. And, he said, well, where is he? Right down the street? I said, no, he's in New Jersey. He goes, he sounds like that? I said, well, that's nothing. I says, I can talk just about anywhere. I did talk to my son down in North Carolina, like he's sitting right here in the room. And he was amazed. He just, his mouth was like hanging on the floor.
Yeah, that's great. Good for you. Good for you. Yeah, this was a very, very quick holiday season as far as my perception of time goes. I mean, the holiday season, I guess by most people's judgment, begins on Thanksgiving. And here we are on New Year's Day. And that's it. I mean, between now and spring, as far as I'm concerned, it's all downhill. This is like the most dreary part of the whole year.
Some of you want to know it's AM operating time.
And
hi, Bob.
I made one New Year's resolution, and that's to be nicer to people who disagree with me. I mean, people disagree with you, and sometimes you get a little testy, but my
he's quick on the trigger.
Testy and just let it go.
Bob gets very testy.
Because they have a perfect right to do that. I fought.
This won't last.
For you and everybody else have the right to disagree with me. So I started thinking about that. So I gotta make that resolution.
It'll never last, you miserable bastard.
Yeah, bite me.
Told ya. W-I-A.
What's up, Tina? Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think we're gonna wind up stacking these puppies. So we got to figure out. We need and the ones that are in there are actually the wrong value. They're .22s. They should be .15. I mean, the 22s work, but they're not quite right. So we're gonna what is it? 0.0. What, 0.05 something or 0.038 or something like that to put three of them together, wind up with 0.15. I forget now.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, Frank.
Why are you using such a low-value capacitor on such a low-impedance circuit? And just a point of reference, I was wondering about the caps I was using in my linear and the outputs. The output I have to DC isolate, and I'm using 0.1s at 500 volts. Ceramic, same size, 20 by 25s. So I made up a little fixture with a series cap, one of these 0.1s, a little PCB board with a couple of connectors, and I put it on the output of the Valiant, and I pumped the Valiant up to 250 watts carrier and full modulation, and I made an old buzzard transmission. I took my IR gun out, and the temperature of the cap went up 5 degrees.
Yep, that's a good cap. Do you know how much RF current was running through it?
Well, whatever RF current is, at 250 watts carrier, let's see, that's 4 times 7, what's that, a little over 2 amps. And the peak is probably, twice that.
Yeah, I called you before, Frank, but I guess you're out at the command center or something. I was going to ask you what you used in yours.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I went to the bathroom. I use, in a 50 ohm circuit, this is the output of each stage, so I'm putting 300 watts peak through them. And I have to, on the high and the low, I have to have the series cap because the transformer is a transmission line transformer and it's DC connected to the drains. So I had to have an isolation cap. And I used 0.1s at 500 volts, 20 by 25s, or 20 by 20, whatever it is. They're wider than they are long, and that's for lower capacitance. And I was worried about, getting them hot. So I said, well, I'll stick one on the output of the Valiant and see if I can cook it. And I ran the heck out of it, and the temperature only went up 5 degrees, so you might be able to go with a higher value to get a lower ESR.
Well,
yeah, make sure I'm not doubling.
Here, they're .22s. Steve's schematic shows a .15. I don't think there's all that much difference between a .15 and a .22. They're pretty close, but mine are a little bit higher. So I don't know what. And Steve, are we running about 300 watts to each one?
We're running about 6 amps. Well, it's bypassing a 6 amp circuit. Let's put it that way. Make sure I'm not doubling. Yeah, it's about a. It's whatever the DC current is running through that. It's got to be able to effectively bypass that. So the capacitive reactance is pretty reasonable. It's like on 80 meters. I think it's like 0.2 some odd ohms, 0.27. The reason why I never use a big value, so there's a problem. excuse me, and it becomes an interesting balancing act. That's why I finally closed in on somewhere between 0.15 and 0.2 microfarad bypass, because if the bypass is too big, it starts affecting audio frequencies, in that you have a pulse width modulator and you've got an output, you've got a capacitor in the output, and then you have an overload shutdown circuit that senses the audio. That is a window comparator that moves around depending on the modulating level, what the DC level is. And if you put too much capacitance out there on the end of that thing, what happens is the Hall effect device starts responding to feeding high audio frequencies into the capacitance, the total capacitance of the RF amplifier, which is pretty significant. If you have a 4-module RF amplifier, and say you have 4.15 microfarad capacitors in there, plus you have the capacitance of the shunt capacitors, which also appears in parallel with all that stuff, you end up with almost starts getting close to a microfarad. And you wouldn't think that's very significant, but high audio frequencies, you have the Hall effect device and all that, and you get high audio frequencies being pumped into that thing. So I started getting triggers of the overload shutdown circuit that I couldn't compensate for, because I couldn't make the phase shifts all line up over the whole audio spectrum with all that capacitance out there. Like too much capacitance. So as long as it's under, about, if I say have, 0.6 microfarads of capacitance in the bypass capacitors, and then I add up all the shunt capacitors and the capacitance and the MOSFETs themselves, and if it stays down below, reasonably below a microfarad, the overload shutdown circuit, the compensation that I've got in there will handle it, and the phase will stay right, and high audio frequencies won't cause false triggering. It was a intersection of a whole bunch of design criteria that had to sort of come together. And I've been using 0.15 for each of them for 20 years. That value seems to work very well. There's not a lot of RF that's showing up at the bottom of the transformer, so it's well bypassed. And I put oscilloscopes on it and looked at it, made sure there's not a lot of voltage there. And the overload shutdown circuits can still deal with it at high audio frequencies. So it was kind of an interesting choice of that particular value. You can go up to 0.2. It's anywhere in that range. So that's anyway, Frank, you asked the question, and that's the answer. WA1GFZ, WA1QIX.
Oh yeah, I forgot. That's a modulated waveform. Sorry about that. Yep, I understand. Take that back. Yeah. So. Yep. So you can't jack the value up to get the ESR down. So, if you went with 0.047s, if you stack 3 of them, that would probably do it. 3 chips.
Yeah, that'll give you 0.15, I think. You stack 3 of those. Another thing, doesn't that capacitor add into the factor on the PDM coils too?
Yes, it does. The PDM filters are designed with the understanding that we're going to have about 8.8 microfarads represented in the RF amplifier. So the last capacitor of the PWM filter, in fact, is 0.8 of a microfarad less than the calculated value, because I know the RF amplifier is going to make up for it. Yeah, there's all this stuff that came into the design. There's a lot of design crap in these transmitters, if they really think about it. All the little things, I had to take care of this, I had to take care of that, I had to take care of that, and 3.047s would work. The issue will become, is the cost. Each one of those capacitors that can handle the current I think they're about $3 each. So and you need 4 bypass capacitors. So say they're $3, so they're $10 for the bypasses. So that's $40 in bypass capacitors. But maybe that's what it's going to take to get there.
Hey, Steve, I'm looking at the schematic. Make sure I got it.
There was another thing that capacitor also figures in on it adds to the PDM coils too. So yeah, you got to be careful what you use there.
Yeah, let's make sure I got it. W1IA. I'm looking at a schematic for the PDM filters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the driver circuit. Did you change the filter design from the 6-pole to a 1, 2, 3, 4 pole?
No, we always use the 6-pole with the bigger transmitters. 4 poles used for the lower power transmitters.
Oh, maybe I just don't have the right schematic up on the Class C radio site. All right, maybe it's another. Yeah, okay. Thanks, Steve. Yeah, I was just trying to remember the corner, and the corner of the filter was extremely low. Was it like 1 ohm?
The corner frequency is 12,500 cycles.
Yeah, but the impedance, all right, that's not important. Thanks. And, this puts it all in perspective. I appreciate this conversation. Not to leave Bruce out of here, but this has been fascinating. And, man, the conditions are phenomenal tonight. And by the way, not that it matters, this is more for, curiosity. Signal strength over Bob right now. Is it a path thing, or did I actually make the antenna work better?
I don't know.
Well, if you can look at signal strength and then Bob talk, because he always kicks my ass.
Bob's got to come on.
Okay, I got a superior antenna. It's a skirted dipole, don't you know?
I got to see Brent.
There we go. Testing 1, 2, 3 with the flat top tonight.
Well, there's fading. You guys have to come on at the same time. All right, horse race time. Bob versus Brent.
Okay.
All right, this is kick Bob's ass. He's got a New Year's resolution. It's not going to work out, though. There you go. Testing 1, 2.
What if we added a third one to it, like a third one?
Bob is a little more strapping over here.
Brent's strapping here.
Brent had Bob all the way over here.
I appreciate it, guys. It's just curious. It's the path.
Do it again, Bob.
I'm stronger to Charlie because Charlie's, it's all propagation. So, anyway, it's kind of a fun test to see, any differences, compared to the dummy load I made and a double L that's working. So, it's more for just empirical testing.
It's a pecker contest.
Now, Bob has about a 5 dB advantage over you down here on Long Island, Brent. This is W2XR.
Well, I would.
Yep.
I'm not too far from Long Island. But yeah, they call this a pecker contest.
Yeah,
The band is.
Thank you.
The band is starting to go along. So here's what I observed. At my location, Bob is stronger than Brent. At K3FEF, Bob is louder than Brent. But that's path optimization. Those two distances are perfect for... you guys are essentially the same. And I'm looking at myself on K3FEF. I'm, at the moment, 40 over down there.
Was 100% copy all the way through. I could just hear in the background.
Yeah, I guess it depends on your location too.
Well, the
Long
real
Island,
test
that's
is
the one
on the
that's
array.
on phone.
And now the
On
array is
Island,
pointed
I'm
towards
definitely
Bob.
gonna
And
nip
Bruce,
through
this
those
is the real
because I'm
crux
only
of the
12 miles from
biscuit.
Long Island
This is
town.
the phased array pointed your direction. Over.
Cream Long Island pretty good. Let me check my messages here. I'll be right back. K1 KBW.
Yeah, you're literally right across the pond, Bob, from where we are.
Well,
was
what a
that,
double.
Charlie? I went to the
Repeat
phased
that.
array. Say that again.
Charlie, repeat.
Say that again, Charlie.
Bob was talking. I was looking right at the meter. He was 40 over. And when you keyed in, it went right to 48 over.
It's a horse race, but I'm on the phased array right now. And I thought I'd give this a shot. Oop, I'm hitting that a little hard, sorry. And, it's just... Anyway,
this is the phased
array. And I was going to see if Bruce noticed the difference down there.
Yeah, make another transmission there, Brent, and I'll take a look at the carrier level meter on the R390.
You're running, 48, 50 over, sometimes close to 60 over.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, it's apples and oranges. I know that, guys, but the phased array should be 4 dB stronger as the band stretches, and that's going to hold true for further away stations primarily, because this antenna will not exhibit the same NIVIS characteristics as the flat top. Anyway, W2XR or W1IA?
Yeah, W1IA from W2XR with the group. You were 65 dB carrier level, solid as a rock, no QSB at all on that last transmission. Is there any way you can go back to the other antenna, Brent?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me see if my tuning's going to be a little bit different. Hang on, let me switch it to the flat top. Okay, this is the flat top, and I'll change back to the other antenna. Stand by. And same power level, and I'm back on the array.
Flat top's better here.
Yeah, my QTH, Brent, there was really maybe only about a 2 dB difference, which is a little surprising. I really thought that the flat top would do a better job here, but that's what the carrier level meter is telling me.
Yeah, okay. I'll stay on the flat top. That way I don't have to sit there and play this, switch the array back and forth. It really does show up when the band goes long.
I mean, it's a strapping signal. I think Steve used the appropriate term here. It's a horse race between you, Steve, and Bob. I have no way of measuring signal-to-noise ratio on received signals, but if full quieting is appropriate for AM, all three of you guys are right up there.
Brent, good evening, everyone. W3MR. Brent, the array was stronger here, and you were much stronger the whole time than Bob here. While I was cooking dinner, I was watching the stream, and it's must be. You and I have always had a path, though, Brent, for some reason, and also the array was definitely stronger, like I said, than the flat top here. So, and I'm think I'm the furthest south.
Exactly, Perry. You're 10 dB louder on the array. You got to get out a few hundred miles, and that's when that 45-degree takeoff angle starts to really shine. But it's fun, and thank you, by the way. I'll do a little housekeeping on that tomorrow, but this thing is working great, Perry. Thank you for the idea. It was definitely worth building.
Anytime, man. Everyone was trying to strap you that time. You and Steve were equal for a second. Steve said he heard somebody. But Brent were, the video doesn't lie here, so the evidence is on the tube.
Yeah, what kind of a signal carrier are we putting
Yeah, it's pretty
into,
rare to strap,
your
Steve,
part of
but
Pennsylvania?
it's all,
This is W2.
you and I have the exact
To you and
right
your dad.
path, Perry. It's strange how that works out. Anyway, great to hear you. A lot of people in here. We've been having a great lot of fun tonight. W1IA and the crew.
Okay, come back, Bruce, again, and I'll see if I'll give you an accurate reading down here. Brent, you're about 38 dB over S9 with my noise floor is right at minus 73 dBm, so I'm right at S9 here. So you're about 40 over, Brent. Bruce, come on back.
Okay, yeah, W3MMR. And what sounds like an expanding group at this point. This is W2XR. How are we? What kind of signal are we putting into your part of PA this evening?
And W1UUU.
Yeah, W1UUU recognized. I heard you earlier too when I was in the cooking dinner. Bruce, you were about 30 to 35 over S9, so about 5 dB less than Brent. I heard Carrie, KC2UFU, chimed in there, so good evening to Carrie. Happy New Year to you and Ken. I'm going to get back in the woodwork. I just wanted to chime in about all the signals here. Steve, you and Brent are right at 40 over. And as soon as the band stretches out, you guys go way up, and I start to lose everybody else. But everybody is at least 25 to 240 over S9 here. And if you want to watch it on YouTube, it's on the AM window on YouTube. Just give it a search there in the bar. We're going to get back on the quiet side and eat my shrimp scampi that I just made. It's going to get cold. W3MMR. And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everyone.
Martian, this is a wrecking ball.
Yeah, we got your wrecking ball.
Anyway, what am I giving you there, Perry? K1 KBW.
We got your wrecking ball. I'm going to sign out and go jump on the elliptical trainer and get some exercise since there's no pickleball today or tomorrow. No pickleball until Monday.
No pickleball.
So, got to fill in with something else. Talk to you guys later. We'll be back. WA1QIX signing to exercise.
Bob, you were...
Steve, see you, Perry. Hello, everyone.
10 dB in the last hour.
Hey there.
Larry.
Bob, you were 30 over.
Oh, that's it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you...
I'm going to have to sell this thing.
Yeah, for some reason, you're down. Your signal, the path between us is down tonight. It was down between me and Clark and Blaine. So Connecticut, there's like a hole in tonight. All right, guys, back to the scampi. W3MMI.
Yeah, catch you later. Yeah, it's conditions. You know, they're moving around, and you know, it's hard to get a real accurate test on people, especially when you know, a couple of days from now it'll turn around and everybody that was strapping ain't going to be strapping anymore. So it's just the way their cookie crumbles. K1 KBW.
And there's the shelf effect.
Yeah, I'm going to have to sign out of here. My lovely
Happy
wife
New
has
Year.
dinner on the table. It's our New Year's Eve dinner, so 73 to everybody. Happy New Year, and we'll talk to everybody soon. This is W2XR, Long Island, New York, off and clear.
Catch you later.
Good night, Bruce.
Happy New Year. K1 KBW.
Happy New Year, Bruce. Have a good one. KC2UFU.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, Carrie, and where's Bruce?
Happy New Year,
And Larry.
And W1UUU. Hello, gentlemen.
The monkey puppet.
Hello to Carrie, and hello to Larry. Boy, a lot of fun tonight. More fun than last night.
Oh, yeah? Why? What I missed last night? Nothing?
Calling the C6.
Yeah, Deadsville.
Really? On New Year's Eve? What, did everybody go to bed at 7?
I'm looking
I
for
think
the C6
everybody was
Martian.
tipping
This is
cocktails,
good.
not me. I'm a teetotaler lately. How you doing, Carrie? And good to hear you, Larry. Great signals tonight.
They're tipping something.
Tipping cows. Oh, hanging in there, Brent. How are you, Mr. Bob? Yeah, I'm just getting on the other side of COVID, so just starting to feel better.
Well, that's good. Yeah. I didn't get it, but I suppose I probably will.
It's everywhere. Yeah, unless you like stay in your bubble. It's you know. Yeah. Ken says I'm tougher than that.
Run your stopwatch when you're in the grocery store.
Yeah, well, I can't. All the procedures that I've had, they have to test me before I get the procedure. Like when I went to Yale, New Haven. I said they just tested me 3 days ago. No good. You got to get tested today. I thought, all right. So, you know, I can't get it because if I do, I got more procedures coming up. I won't be able to get them.
Well, as long as you stay home, you're good. Get out of my bubble.
Yep, stay in your bubble, Bob. That's what my dad's got to go in for a procedure on Wednesday to get his heart shocked and reset. He's hiding out big time.
Oh boy, there's something in your off frequency, and then my sync detector ain't locking in on them. They're like way off frequency.
I'm on 70.
Yeah, they're up on 73, I think.
Well, that's where they usually hang out.
Well, we moved down because somebody fired up on 88, and then we had a QSO on 85.
We have a problem with our heat and our hot water. You need to fix this. Hey, man, no, I don't. Why don't you pay your rent? Then I can fix it.
You know what? It doesn't work that way.
As well, M2LJL. Yep. Yeah, I know. And then they go to the friggin' PSC or some crap, and the landlord's like hell to the fire. I get it.
I can't believe that the landlords are not having a revolution. Good to hear you guys. Take care. George, a pleasure. Clark, a pleasure. Take care, guys. Happy New Year, kind of, sort of.
Yes, Merry New Year.
Business evening ever.
Merry New Year.
I hate to say this, but nice quote, W2 Gore.
Enjoying the conversation. Agree with everything. I haven't heard anything yet to disagree with. Carry on.
Who said W2 Gore?
W2ENY.
First, Brandon came down with it just a couple weeks ago, and then me and Garrett came down with it. Ken's just been walking around here like nothing's going on. He said that he's dipped himself in so many chemicals over the course of the years that he doesn't think COVID stands a chance with him.
Probably not.
Hello, Carrie.
Well, hello there.
I got it here now.
You did, and you're still breathing.
It's girls on roofies.
Yes. Happy New Year.
3. Hey, Jim, what do you got going on, man? I haven't talked to you in a dog's age, and you did all kinds of work on your house and your yard and your garage. I've been driving by going to the boat down there.
Yeah, because it's been warm out yesterday and today. A little muddy and bucky outside, but yeah, I cut down a tree and cleared up the road that went up top to the commercial lot, and did that and de-vined and cleared that roadway out and been fooling around with an old Leyland. I'm always busy doing something other than radio. I've been doing everything else, but more mechanical things than electrical things. How you been?
Nah, can't complain. It's all good. The boat came in a couple of weeks ago. They shrink wrapped that. I was going to go down today, but it was raining like all day, so I'm going down tomorrow. And I just wanted to comment. It looked real good. New paint and just your upgrades over the summer looked wonderful, even though this summer sucked. This is W2ENY.
Yeah, pretty much did there, Bob. And you can thank the landlord for that. He likes me, and we get along really well. He decided to invest a few bucks into the building, which I was very grateful for. And he sold his business next door, made a ton of money, and we still a part with it, but it's like a big corporation that owns it now. We still do work for them. It's the same as it always was, but like there's investor guys, and they're like young guys, and they just got like they're buying body shops all over the place, and they're paying big bucks for them, but they follow the numbers, and that's more than my pea brain can imagine what they do. But they're numbers guys. I don't think I know anything about body work, but they have a couple key guys that sit in the places that they buy, but they just know numbers. That's way more than I know that they know. Anyhow, I didn't want to bust into the conversation here. So sitting here listening away, and I will continue to listen. KC2DHU, Foggy, Tompkins Cove.
Hey, the only thing I know about body work is cup size.
Not the same here.
That's right.
Yeah, so I'm planning on going down to the boat tomorrow. I don't know whether they put this freaking door in the shrink wrap. The thing has got to be like 28 by 30. It's like I got to bring like an Oompa Loompa to go into my boat. I got to bring the ladder down there tomorrow. I did buy a real door, like 36 by 48, and I got the fat tape, the shrink wrap tape that you put on. It's like 4 inches or 5 inches wide, whatever it is. And it's an easy drill. It's just the humidity. Tomorrow's supposed to have a little bit of wind at least, so maybe I go down there in the afternoon and I'll luck out and the shrink wrap will be all moist and drippy on the outside. And if it is, then I'm screwed. But if it isn't, I might do the real door tomorrow, and that'd be wonderful because I'll be able to like open that thing up. Yeah, 3 foot by 4 foot. That would be great, and it would be good for ventilation too.
Are you in the water, or are you up on stands?
Up on stands.
All right. Yeah. I mean, I guess you can always cut slots into the shrink wrap, just so it's not, airtight.
Yeah, you go down there tomorrow morning, Bob. It's foggy as all get out. Foggier than pea soup down here right now, so it's going to be wet, that's for sure. But it is supposed to get breezy in the afternoon. But then, what's going to happen is, come tomorrow night and into Monday, the temperature's going to drop. Drop big time. So, that'll give you a window of tomorrow afternoon to install your window, so to speak.
Yeah, and I'm familiar with the whole slotting thing. I'm like the guy in the Christmas Story with the turkey and changing the tire and all of that. The slots I put in the front, up on the right close to the deck, I'll put slots in there. They're about 18 inches wide and about 6 inches up. That way we get a little blow through. And if we do get moisture in there, it's all on fiberglass, and it runs all the way to the back. It's all on fiberglass. The other thing I do is I slot it up on top. There's usually 2 vents I put in up there. And when I cut the door, when I put the door on, then you unzip it and you just go in there with a freaking box cutter and you just boom, cut it out. And I'll take that. Man, as soon as she started running, it's grizzy. I'll stand by one.
One moment, please.
I thought you were ripping some bong hits or something.
Our talking about cutting open the shrink wrap on a boat that's in winter storage.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll take the stuff that I cut out from the door, and I'll go up above that, right up on that boom, and I'll probably I'll put a piece on the outside, tape it across two sides and the top, and then it'll be like a little hood, and that's all. I'll be able to see with the sun, if we have sun someday. I'll put that on. I'll cut probably a 4x6 vent hole in the shrink wrap on top, where that thing's covered over, and it keeps the direct rain out of coming into the boat. And what it does is it allows the vent holes in the front to communicate with the top vents. That way, heat comes out. Humidity is sort of that's what the front vent holes do. I'll probably cut two in the back too, but they have to be really close down because I don't want that crap getting on the teak and then freeze thaw and all that stuff. I got it pretty much down. I've had boats for I don't know what 21 years, and anyway, the previous one was all fiberglass. It had no teak deck or anything like that. Where this one's got a lot of teak on it, and I got to pay attention to that. And anyway, and I still have to get my Sunday New York Times with those little dollar store mesh bags. Take the Sunday New York Times, the whole thing, and stick it, crumble it up, and stick it in all those things, and that takes the place of those dry things that they sell that are like a little can. And it also protects against mold and mildew and blah blah blah. So it'll be good times. Like I said, I think I'm going to go down there tomorrow. Hopefully, maybe the sushi restaurant is open right there in Stony Point. That'd be a double header for me. And this is W2ENY.
I put a 24-foot Mako into winter storage, and I do the shrink wrap thing. And what I did is I went to Home Depot and I got two of those aluminum attic vents. They're meant for dryer vents and stuff. And they're so light, and I go in and I take the door thing out, the flap that opens when you get air pressure. So what you end up with is like a scupper with a grill on the open end, and because it points, it's like at a 90-degree angle. It points down because it's meant to mount on a roof of a house. But again, it's made of super thin aluminum. I mean, they weigh nothing. I just cut like the 4-inch hole, the circle hole in the shrink wrap. You put two of those things in, one near the bow, one near the stern, and then just put these things on there. And they're, again, because they're aluminum, they're so light, but they still allow air to blow through. And because they point down, down along the side of the heat shrink, so when the wind blows, it hits the heat shrink, and it would literally blow up into this aluminum scuppering, into this vent, and then that would force the air out the other side. So you almost get like wind-driven ventilation.
Yeah, so you don't have these things powered, because they would, I'd get a phone call instantly if I had 110 that went into my boat.
No, they're not powered. They're literally like dryer vents, roof vents. They have a square aluminum plate that the standard dryer vent hose is like 4-inch diameter that goes up, and then there's a cover over it so that rain doesn't get in on the top. The only thing you have to do is take out the flap that automatically closes when there's no air pressure on it. So if you take that out, you've got basically a vent that's always open, with a grill in front of it, and it's angled so that the open side faces down, so you don't get rain.
Yeah, so I'm doing a similar thing, just without the vent. I use the shrink wrap that I'm going to harvest from the inside of where the door is going to go. And I repurpose that for those little hoods up top.
Yeah, it's not the end of the world if water gets on the boat.
Oh, I know. But yeah, the vents up front, and you don't want to get really crazy. You put bigger vents in, and then the next thing you know, it becomes like a sail, and it allows if you get.
No, they're done on 17. I can hear them up here. Holy crap.
All right, Mr. Waterfall Display, who is it?
Yeah, I heard the pepper come in here. Yeah, hold on a second. I got this thing working. Wait, give me a minute. Tune it up. All right. I haven't been on 3885 in a while. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Just wanted to say Happy New Year, K3FEM.
Well, a happy and fine business New Year to you as well.
Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year.
Lamb roast that we did in the crock pot, and I've already been asked to come upstairs twice in the last 15 minutes. So anyway, I'll catch you cool cats later on. This is W2EMY.
All right, Bob, 7-3. Yeah, you don't want to be asked 3 times.
7-3 N2LJO. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to get the call in a minute. So if the band holds up, maybe we'll catch you guys later. N2LJO.
George,
WZAJ whistling along.
The absolutely comical comments on my Facebook post recently. It's a lot of laughs. So good stuff. You sounded great tonight. It's Milford, PA. Actually, everybody sounded great tonight. So good to hear you all.
Yeah, which comical posts? Some of them are cynical and some of them are comical, and I'm not sure how to separate the two.
I blend them all together because I'm cynical as well. So when I see your cynical comments, I still laugh. It doesn't matter. I'm not offended by anything whatsoever.
Yeah, it's all good. I've been trying to play nice. Anyway, 7-3 everybody. I'll catch y'all later on. This is W2E.
Take care, man. Stay well. KC2DHO.
And why was what was at the end of that transmission.
And Jim, anytime you hear somebody beeping the horn outside your house, it's usually me.
Oh, okay. Yeah, most people don't beep around past my house. They just go flying by. But at the shop, the horn blows all day long.
You don't work at Wayne's place down the street, do you?
Wait, what's that?
You don't work at, where's your shop? You don't work at Wayne's right down the street, do you?
No, my shop's in Nanuet. I'm on 304, right across the street from Schultz Ford.
Yeah, okay. All right. Cool, fine business. Anyway, I'm going upstairs before I get the third alarm fire from my wife. This is W2E.
WZAJ.
And there's Kevin.
Well, good evening, Clark. Happy New Year to you and to all the inhabitants of 3885. I have to say that the conversation was very erudite, learned, and interesting, and it helps that I agreed with just about everything, or everything, everything that was said. Quite a difference from the mosh pit of yesterday.
Good Lord, that's Carrie down there.
Carrie.
What I hear is...
That's Carrie down there talking to Brentina. She must be hitting the audio a little hard.
Great. I don't know if I've got her. I do have her phone number. Oh, no, wait a minute. Oops. No, that's someone else. Oh, I only have her freaking email address, and she doesn't check that. Oh, well.
Oh, boy. That's going to go over well.
Oh, no. There were some... I need to tell you the time that there was epic egg on face between me and Carrie. Thank God she, and especially her husband, took everything in stride. Gee, can you hear me over all the buckshot coming from down there? Well, I'll make it quick. A few years back, K1KBW, Bob got himself a vocal effects processor. Now, he's into music. You don't hear a lot about that, but he's into, music and stuff like that. And he ended up getting this thing which has a vocal processor, and he was playing around with it on the air a lot. And one of the things that he got particular amusement out of is the fact that it had this chorus effect, it's like high-tech stuff. And one of the options, one of the presets on it, he found that it made his voice into a female voice. How about that for pioneering gender changes? This is only like 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. So he would get on, and he would like, oh, watch, I can become a woman. Now, that's pretty impressive. To take Bob's baritone voice and make it into a female, but he hit the button and then talk, and it would come out as a woman's voice. It was very impressive. Well, this went on for a while. He would use this thing on the air like all the time. And it's like, all right, it's getting old now. So one night I'm over at N1ALF's house, the previous W1WOR, and we're in a big long conversation with a bunch of folks, and Bob's on there, and all of a sudden I hear the woman voice again. It's like, freaking hell. It's that Bob and the stupid effects generator again. So I waited for him to finish up, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to go off. It's time to wrap this up. So he unkeys, and I key up, and I start in with this, hey, baby, you know what? You sound pretty hot. I think maybe you and I should, get together, do a nice restaurant, do a little wining and dining, and then, maybe afterwards we just see how effective that wine turns out to be. So how about it? You know what I'm saying? And then I unkey, and the voice comes back with this, oh, Clark, wow, this is a side of you we haven't heard before. And I'm like, oh my God. I look at Rob, I'm like, yeah, Bob doesn't know what to say now because he's never been in this, like threatened woman position before. This is great. So I key up again. I get back into my, what we're going to do after dinner. And Rob's looking at me like with this horrified look on his face. His eyes are wide and he's like, what are you doing? And I'm like trying to, keep up with my thing. And I'm like, I'm talking to Bob. He goes, that's Carrie. I'm like, what? And he goes, that's not Bob. That's Carrie. He's kind of like mouthing it. And I'm like, no, it's not. That's Bob with his effects generator. He goes, unkey. So I'm like, all right, hold on a second. We got to work something out here. And I unkey. And then it turns out it was Carrie. This whole time I'm saying all this stuff to Carrie, and she's laughing. She's like, wow, Clark, this is really a side of you we haven't heard before. Now, I don't know if you guys know her husband, Ken, is like 8 feet tall, 300 and something pounds. Like, he is the abominable snowman from, Bumble's Bounce thing, and I'm thinking, he's going to kill me. Fortunately, both he and Carrie thought this was completely hysterical. And then Bob chimes in. He goes, yeah, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, that wasn't you with your effects processor? He goes, no, I don't have it on tonight. Yeah, baby, that was a low moment in 3875 history, and one BCG.
That is absolutely an epic story, Clark. Oh my God, that is epic.
Well, you guys doubled, but I got it all. Yeah, this part of the ham band here is good for all kinds of entertainment. Apparently.
Well, wait, I got something.
At whatever cost.
Can you just imagine that? You find out that you're actually saying this to someone's wife, and the someone is huge? Oh, my God.
You don't know whether to run, hide, apologize, come up with an excuse. You don't know what to do.
They are both absolutely fun to talk to and fun to hang out with. So I can imagine that some people go over there.
Hey, I got to break in here for a second. Clark, did you hear Gordon the other day? He just affected a female voice, and it sounded just like Carrie. It told a bunch of us. And I thought maybe he was the one that did that. And then I remembered your story that you just told. So have you heard Gordon do the female impersonation? Is this thing on?
It is. Clark probably went away.
I scared myself. I'm hiding under the comforters.
Did you hear what I just said?
I don't know. What did you just say? And then I'll tell you if I heard it.
Well, the other, three nights ago, Gordon came on. He was affecting a female voice, and we all thought it was Carrie. It sounded like her.
All right. See, this is a bad thing. Yeah, now I told that story, it's all really coming back to me because I remember the look on Rob's face when I was going on and on about, maybe you and I get together, you can slip into something sexy. I can pick a few things out from online, and he was turning ash white. He's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like trying to not have him distract me because I'm putting on my Hugo Suave, Iago Sangria, act here. And he's like, "That's Carrie, you're talking to Carrie." It's like, and then he started putting that doubt in my mind. I'm like, oh my God, what if it is? No, it can't be. No, it's Bob. It's Bob with that stupid effects generator. Really? I'm talking to Carrie? Oh man,
Bob must have been laughing his rear end off.
Yeah, okay, thanks, Alec Baldwin.
I was going to pop down here and say Happy New Year's to those
guys. I'll be back. Or you can join me there.
Oh, why don't you just say it here? I'm sure they'll hear it just as well as we're hearing them.
No, I'm only like 5 kilohertz wide. Terry's off the map. Yeah, she's 130 wide.
No, I think something's out of whack over there because that's not normal. I was looking at the spectral display and I could see the rounded humps going out. So I think the audio level's probably just too high. Hey, Kerry, I can see your rounded humps going out.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, I think you're probably right because they're usually pretty tight. So a little overmodulation. Actually, I'm looking at the scope. I might be overmodulating a little bit too. Although I think I'm pretty tight, +5 and -5 on either side, but I could be wrong. Occasionally at the end. Anyway, I want to hop down there real quick and catch her before she disappears.
All right, Mike. Good hearing you. And Clark, I think I figured out the squealies. It's not the speakers. It's a freaking heat sink on the deck.
Well, how are you not hearing squealies now?
I turned the audio down a little bit, and I don't know, you probably hear the downward expander running. And then I took a piece of the acoustic foam and put it behind the heat sink, which is about 6 inches from the wall, so it stops the reflection of the squealy off the wall.
Wow, so you've got loose FETs.
Think so? I tighten those things up. I need an Allen wrench.
Really?
Yeah, the tiny little Allen wrench.
Huh. So those are on there with Allen screws, not like regular flathead or Phillips?
I think Bob had these little tiny Allen wrenches. Let me take a look at them. But I remember doing this at my house occasionally. I ran the audio really hot, and I noticed I'm getting about 140, 150 positive peaks. So I turned the audio down quite a bit. So probably was running it way too hot. Probably looks like I bring it down a little bit more.
Well, it is cleaner than it was before. The other thing is, keep in mind, if you have loose FETs, then the connection between the FETs and the heat shrink, or not heat shrink, the heat pads. I use silicone thermal compound, but if you're using those thermal pads, then and a FET is loose, and that's dangerous.
I could pop rivet them to the heatsink.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know if pop rivet's a good mechanical bond. W1UUU.
K2IJY.
Man, look at everyone joining the party. Good afternoon, or good evening now.
Hey, Clark, how the hell are you?
As good as I want and better than I should be. Happy New Year, and to also the other station.
And happy birthday.
You're early, but okay, thanks.
All right, I brought the output gain on the processor down a little bit. Maybe it went a little too far.
One thing, it's a day off.
Yeah, you guys are coming in here real well. K2IJY.
You're like a 40 over. Holy mackerel.
I'm like 40 over.
Yep, you're loud. Very loud.
Yeah, I'm running. I put on the amplifier tonight because it's a little noisy. So it's our Class AB1 linear, driven by a 25-watt Collins radio station LPV.
It's one of those rare blackface 25-watt LPB transmitters.
Yeah, I think I have 3 of those things. This one I got at the surplus place. One I got from Bill Sitzman from Independent Broadcast Consultants out in Elmira. And I think I found another one on a radio show.
Blackface is 2022.
Did you say that was the one with or without circuit boards? I think that the black-faced one was earlier, and it did not have circuit boards.
No, it's all point-to-point wiring. Tube sockets to tube sockets. There's no circuit board in here at all.
Wow.
You are wall-to-wall and treetop tall.
Yeah, I'm looking at I have a couple meters just sitting on the table here, and they're moving with my modulation. Crazy.
Hey, Clark.
Yes, sir.
Give me a second to review my audio balance here, the EQ in this thing. Is it proper? Is it out? What do you think?
Nothing jumped out at me as being unusual. It sounds all right.
All right, I'll leave it alone. Thank you.
You don't sound yellowy.
Well, I mean, I look at it this way. There's a range of how people can have their audio set, to suit their particular taste. I mean, if something sounds like there's hum, or there's something which is like no one would have it set like that, then I'll say something. But that sounds well within the realm of how you would want it to sound.
All right, because you can go crazy going back and forth with the SDRs and listening locally and all of that. And I try to listen to it against like Bob and Steve and you, and try to get in that ballpark. And that's kind of where I'm trying to get to. Over.
I think if you were to ask everyone on frequency, you'd get a different answer. But I think generally most people would say, yeah, it sounds fine.
You just sound fine to me. Actually, sounds good, and it sounds clean as well.
Sounds high, fine business old man in Ohio.
Thank you, I appreciate that. And I didn't get what the station was, but when the guy was looking for the signal report, it was about 20 over here into almost New Hampshire. It's a great night to be on the radio, I guess. God, what is my life? That was a joke.
I know we're all like in tears right now, so give us a moment to recover.
I grew up reading National Lampoons. Maybe you did at the time also, and it will really distort your view of reality.
Are you kidding? I've got MSNBC and CNN to do that these days.
What is reality?
So whatever you want it to be, I guess. But I don't know. Trots and Bonnie and facts and I remember when I was a field engineer picking one up at the airport, and it was just so damn funny that my hand started. This is weird, but my hand started to itch. And you can't just bust out laughing sitting at the airport. Minds of radio and
30 people come and go since this afternoon. It's been a blast and quiet band conditions.
But Brent stays on.
That's right, Ted. I'm a fixture. It's my frequency, mine, I tell you.
Oh, you're smoking tonight. I mean, the thing's working. Good work on figuring it out.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You could have fried an egg on that Toro.
Yeah, Stephanie would have been proud of that one.
Oh?
So...
All right, I think I got this thing worked out now, so I should be doing better. Better, yes.
That sounds great. Excuse me, whatever station that is.
Yeah, this is N1GTU, running a classy rig here. Having some acoustic feedback problems. I'm looking for an Allen wrench to tighten up these fets. I gotta go through all my boxes.
Well, it sounds pissa here.
Completely unfettered here, all tubes.
I'm mostly tubes here.
Kind of half and half tube here. KC2DHU Friday.
I didn't get that call, the KC2.
DHU, Donut Hole University.
Alright, so now I got part of it. I got THU now.
No, Delta, Donut Hole University. Kilowatt Charlie 2 Donut Hole University. Maybe I should adjust my modulation. I'll learn how to speak, one or the other.
Yeah, somebody was doubling with you. I got it now. Kilo Charlie 2 Delta Hotel Uniform from W1UUU.
All right, so I'm curious, who's listening on this frequency who figures they can never join in? This is not a directed net. This is sort of like a lawless, reckless free-for-all. So if you haven't said anything, this is a great time to key up. Let yourself be known.
What?
There you go.
WA2WNY, good evening.
Look at that. Everyone's here. Good evening. Hello, Billy. Hello, everybody.
Sup?
Hey, by the way, Bill, your number one expression was voted number one most gotta get rid of expression from 2021. Wait, what?
Where did you see this?
It was just, all the year-end polls. They were doing a poll. They surveyed, it was like a couple of thousand people to say, what expressions are completely overdone and nauseating? And coming in at number one for 2021 was, wait, what?
The boys here do that, but it's a little different style. It's, wait, what happened?
Well, that's just validation because it's supposed to be nauseating and it's supposed to be obnoxious. You know what I mean? Like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, I wasn't paying attention. I'm just here taking up space kind of thing. Millennial stuff. W2BT.
Millennial stuff.
Sounds millennial-ish to me.
I'm still trying to figure out how to fix the carrier issue I got over here. It's a little wobbly.
Well, the carrier's there enough to prevent you from sounding like wah, 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 wah. So it's working.
It never made sense. It still doesn't. I think it went back to like the 40s or something. It said where it came from, and it's why answer? Why even speak if that's what you're gonna say?
Here. We should just anybody under what's the age of annoyance? What? How old do you have to be before you're no longer annoying?
Most humans are always annoying.
I thought it was based on the years you were born, so I guess if you was 102, you were born in a certain year, you'd still be a millennial.
I don't know. I think people are capable of being annoying regardless of their age.
That's a fact.
Well, no, this isn't like any tangible annoyance. This is just being annoying because you are a certain age. You know, it's annoying that you are that age.
Well, no. Annoyance has, like, no boundaries. no boundaries whatsoever. You could be, 10 years old, or you could be 90 years old. Doesn't matter when you were born. If you're annoying, you're annoying. I got some friends that are just constantly annoying. And quite honestly, I annoy my wife often enough.
Yeah, I think that the annoyance is a constant, but the names for it change periodically. They used to call it neurotic, and then that fell out of favor. And even before that, it was a nudnik. And I don't know if that's Russian or Yiddish, where that came from. But it's a constant. It just gets rebranded.
Nudnik. See, I haven't heard that in a while. There used to be there were a lot of nudniks around.
I'm surprised anybody heard it. I thought I was dating myself or putting myself in a corner with that.
Hey, if it's a Friday night and you're in a pinch, it's okay to date yourself.
Yeah, at my tender age, I've heard of a nudnik.
I don't know all the names. I'm sorry.
We can fax you a playbill of who's on frequency right now if you want.
Yeah, fax. That's and I remember somebody telling me they could actually demodulate a fax tone and tell you what was written on it. These are the same people that could hear the difference between a tantalum and a ceramic cap in an audio circuit.
Oh, I accept that. I can head copy FT8.
I would challenge most people, probably anybody, to listen to that welding cable or monster cable versus a piece of thermostat wire and hear the difference.
Have you ever been in like I don't know, like a tracking studio or a mastering studio that has a sound system capable of displaying that type of nuance? Because you can hear it.
I couldn't hear it. I worked at it was a high-end, well, to me it was high-end. It was Hafler and Klipsch, and, no, it wasn't Klipsch. It was Hafler, Acoustic Research. I don't know we had the gear back then. Kyocera, back at the electric store at 400 Park Avenue in Worcester. And I never heard the difference. I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, I'm not talking about like a retail set them up and show them installation. I'm talking about a mastering studio where somebody has sunk, a very large amount of money into a space, taking into consideration acoustics, the speakers, even the HVAC system and stuff all plays in, just like an environment purpose-built for listening to extreme nuance, where you would, go to master a record, or somebody would pay you a lot of money to master a record, like that type of listening environment. I've been in them before, and if you have something like that, you can start to pick out nuance that otherwise, you would think didn't exist. But it's all about the listening environment and, your ears. But not many people have even had the opportunity to listen to something. And, I'm not talking about audio fools, with this crap set up like in their house. So I'm talking about a place that makes money by listening to nuance. You gotta go to a place like that. W2BTK.
Yeah, all outfitted with Clark equipment.
Clark Technic? Nah. Usually he's a little more high end than that.
I can't even imagine there is anything more high end.
Some of the crap they have, like they'll spend 20 G's on like 2 channels of DAC.
ain't never been in one of them places, and I don't think my ears can tell the difference at this tender age in my life. All the noise I've been around. I can tell a noise coming out of a car and know if it's good, bad, or indifferent, or basically I listen to a car and I can know what's wrong with it. But when it comes to stuff like that, I guess everybody's ears are trained differently. You know, people that, you know, are musicians and stuff like that, they can listen to that stuff and they can tell. They can pick anything out. You know, and they can listen to a car and say, yeah, it sounds fine to me. Like I say, you don't hear that. You know, so it's what your ears are trained to, and I guess, you know, what you've done with your life, but, you know, and whether you can hear halfway decent or not.
I'd like to have a scientific experiment with controls and you know, A/B things, and actually do a test on that. Yeah, certain things you can hear. You can hear the difference between amplifiers and you know, different, you know, maybe different. Different cartridge. You know, on the extremes. But the difference in wire between, say, 14 gauge or maybe 12 gauge lamp cord and monster wire. Can anybody actually hear that?
Oh, you mean like oxygen-free cable that was burned in?
Good evening, W1A.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, hi to Brent. If that's Brent in there.
Hey, Blaine. Let's see, BTK, and I think I heard BCG. Good evening, gentle people.
Would you like me to chum the waters? WB2GCR.
That will only attract sharks.
KC2KKQ. Happy New Year.
And bears. Oh my.
Well, I've been lurking for hours, so.
All right, Bear. I would consider you an expert on this, and I'll take whatever you have to say on this as probably pretty much. I probably believe whatever you have to say.
Well, I'll say a couple of things. Number one, if you're not a critical listener, or you're tone deaf or have a hearing deficit, most people our age do, including myself at this point, you're not going to tell much of a difference no matter what if it's halfway decent. But if you could hear like I could hear 20 years ago, and even more recently, but 20 years ago is still pretty darn good, and you have very good high-frequency hearing, and you've been trained a bit, you know, maybe you've gone to 100 concerts at Philharmonic Hall or Carnegie Hall, or, you know, heard all sorts of good stuff, been in studios, listened to top 100 hi-fi systems, and you've got to the point where you can notice details that other people don't notice. You can hear those things very easily. It's easier to hear something like taking the same wire, which normal people can't do, and having it built in, let's say, copper, and built in high purity silver, and then plug it in, and you'll hear the difference immediately. Even an average person will probably hear, like, it seems somewhat different, yeah, but I'll explain very quickly a simple idea. Take a white piece of paper, illuminate it evenly, drop a few very, very tiny grits of black sand on it. Well, you can see where the black sand is very clearly. But if you had a white piece of paper and you covered half of it with black sand, and then you moved the black sand and had the person come back and look at it, they say, well, I don't know if I can tell a difference. So there's an idea for you. WB2GCR.
Good analogy, Pierre.
W2JBL.
I want to be in one of those anechoic chambers. Hey, Chris.
Hey, Blaine. Jeez, 15 people in the wrong. Listening for a while. Happy New Year to all. There, as far as I'm concerned, speaker wire.
If the gauge of the wire involved is sufficient to carry the amount of current that's flowing through the wire without IR losses, I don't think it makes a hell of a lot of difference. Well, you're entitled to think that, Chris, but it ain't so. And again, probably you and I at this point can't hear it. I know when I could hear it. There's more to it than meets the eye, and it all depends upon how well you can discern stuff above 14 kilohertz. I do mean discern it, and so that leaves out most people, which is why high-end audio is so full of crap, because it's selling stuff to a lot of people who can't hear it. So I'll leave it at that, having been in the business and finding it kind of frustrating. But there you go.
Well, that's my take on it. I can still hear 12K. It rolls off above that, but I've managed to take pretty good care of my hearing over the years, and I can hear subtleties. I can hear a lot of stuff, even on the radio here, that most people can't hear, but I just never bought into the whole monster cable business. But that's my 2 cents worth. And again, Happy New Year to all.
Hey, Chris, W1IA, how you doing?
Hey, operating on 70. That's a nice move, operating on 70.
I don't care.
Yeah, it was, became talked out, and I thought I heard Clark and Billy and you and everybody on frequencies, so what the hell? Yeah, let me make a quick radio adjustment. Sorry about that. But anyway, good to hear everyone. Enjoying the evening.
I was saying I loved how you guys were on 70. That's how we did it in the old days. So the whole time you guys are down there, I'm listening up here. I got the receiver open up to 16 killer cycles there, Sonny. And I don't hear anything coming from downstairs. And that's a beautiful thing. That's the way we did it back in the day. In fact, we go way back when Tim was a boot. So let's say back to 68. People, 67, 68, people were gathering on 3885 and 3868. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, there was still one station that made it up here.
I wonder who that was. No, I didn't. That's true, Chris. Was somebody, sometimes I just don't know. Some of it's propagation. Yeah, at 8580, we were on 75. I said, what the hell are we doing? Somebody showed up on 80, and then it went down. I said, let's move down to 70.
Hey, big shout out to Billy.
That's you, BTK.
Yeah, bite the kitten.
Bun the cutchie.
Oh, what?
Even Bear is loud.
And,
Nah. Bear, are you on the new rig?
What new rig? You guys fall into rumors all the time.
Yeah, your Globe King sounds great, Bear.
Yeah, the Globe Chunk.
King. You guys are crazy. There's no Globe King here.
Why not?
he's on the Valiente.
Because my back
Good evening, Clark.
Me, man, and I can't take anything. I got this iron. It's still in the number 2 van. Then I got one piece of iron is 135 pounds. The other one's got to be 160 pounds. And then there's the BC 610 power supply deck. I can't imagine what that thing weighs.
God, your audio is a bit man you raised.
Stick me over tonight.
Get your son to move it. He's a big hulking kid.
Yeah.
I don't think he exists either. What do you call it? Well, what are you talking about?
When I met Bear's son, they came down and delivered an amplifier to me. That was 4 years ago, 5 years ago. And this kid was growing tall like a weed. He's probably taller than Bear by now.
I don't know who he is. It's somebody who hangs out here. I think he's actually either the pool boy that my wife hired, or he's one of the landskeepers. I can't tell who he is.
Hey, Chris, remember the road trip that Keith and I took to PA and Vortex Joe's site?
honest, I don't. I met Joe a number of times. He had come up here. I was never down to his place.
Yeah, you guys operated from there, I think. Yeah, we brought a trailer down there. We Keith Suburban came back with severely overloaded. The mod iron with chainfall handles on it. It weighed, 1,000 pounds. Then a broadcast transmitter we picked up in PA. And we stayed at Frank's, had a great time. And we went up the hooks at New Hampshire to deliver the trailer full of stuff. And the Kubota tractor, which was pretty big, we had to all get on the tri-point hitch when we picked the mod iron up. And we were taking the trailer home. One of the tires had actually almost come off the bead of the rim. And bump going down the road. So we destroyed the tires on the trailer.
Well, that's the kind of mod iron you need to modulate tubes with handles on them.
Oh my God, Vortex Joe, I miss him. What a hot ticket.
Yeah, he was a cool guy.
Yeah, King sounds big ass piece of mod iron. Yeah, if you got a Kubota tractor, the SN's getting light on. You got to have people hanging off the back of it. That's a big ass piece of mod iron.
The thing was about 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet, with these big eyelets on it, half-inch eyelets that's full of oil. And the three of us had to get on the back of the tractor to get it down the hill and roll it on pipes into the basement.
Wait, hold on. Where is this now, and who wanted it to do what?
Yeah, one of our crazy friends. He ended up moving to Africa or something. I don't know what happened to the mod iron. I don't remember the guy's call sign, but his name was Tom. I can't remember his call. It was a friend of Keith, and it was ridiculous.
I bet it's still in that basement.
King 500 here.
What?
That mod iron still worked great on your Globe King 500.
Wait, one at a time. I didn't get that. What?
When Joe was saying that huge modulation iron would work great on your new Globe King 500 transmitter.
Which one of 3 Globe Kings that I have are you referring to?
Pick one.
Yeah. I need a 2.5-foot square piece of mod iron. The losses through that thing would be so high, the first 200 watts wouldn't even get through.
No, that's not true at all. So I ran a kilowatt mod iron on a Viking 2 once. It was great. I had no high voltage drop through that transformer.
Oh, yeah, I second that. I had my pirate broadcasting days. I had a little Johnson Ranger. And the mod iron was a kilowatt mod iron for an FAA transmitter, a pair of 450THs modulated by a pair. Oh, boy, the Ranger sounded really sweet with that transformer. It was the same size as the frickin' Ranger.
I like it.
So you guys are crazy, so it's okay. It's okay. You can have all the hot mod iron. You know, some guys, they used to read Playboy, you know. These guys read mod iron catalogs.
What's wrong with that?
And you could just go buy some Antex and be the man nowadays.
Yeah, you know, size matters. Jesus, last spring, I picked up a beautiful piece of mod iron from a Collins 20V2 and the mod reactor, and I'm going to remote them outside of the Johnson kilowatt and run them on this here transmitter, because size matters. Someone earlier was talking about huge Johnson. Yeah, I'm running one now.
We classy operators freeze in the dark. That's what Keith says.
WB2 GCR said that it's been 10 minutes.
Whatever you want to
Well, you know, I got the Johnson kilowatt and the Fort Wayne amplifier, an R390 non-A, and a bunch of other stuff, all in one little corner of my basement. And it gets cold down there, right? Yeah, I gotta get on the air for a little while with the 4x1 and all that other crap, and Jesus, the temperature comes up 30 degrees in an hour and a half.
And my wife gets pissed when I'm running the linear. It gets 140 degrees down here. And, you know, Chris, I can respect running tubes in the winter.
Oh, hell yeah. You know, and I'm getting older, and I lost a lot of weight since I retired, so I don't have the insulation anymore. The cold bothers me a bit more. For some reason, only when I'm on inside, so I keep the place really warm. And the big bottles helped out a lot.
That's what she said.
Yeah, my electric bill doubles every time I run the linear for any length of time.
The friggin' electric bill is $300 this month.
Yeah, but you know,
I swear the average electric bill around here is $1.20. When I'm running the linear fairly often, it almost doubles.
Speaking of doubles, I just doubled.
I said that when I run the big linear beer, my electric bill goes from $1.20 to $2.20.
I believe it, but if you get it up to 140 degrees, that'll kill the COVID virus, so it's a good thing.
You know, that thing has been bulletproof since the day I built it. Thank you, Mark. Good engineering.
I will also, you know, a little bit higher on the electric bill, but a little less on the fuel oil bill. So it'll balance up in the end.
Yeah, good point. And the double L tuner bear has been fixed, thanks to Frank. Yeah, no longer a Tesla coil.
Is who still here?
W2LJL, he was in earlier.
Oh, hi, George. Merry Christmas. I got your card yesterday, and Happy New Year.
I don't know if he's still here. What was the fix, Brent? I'm dying to know.
Dyslexia. I miswired it. I didn't have the tap straps going on one end of the coils, number one. I foolishly was using the antenna to tap the coil without shorting out the rest of it. And there was an erroneous ground on the cap on one side of the coils. And I didn't have a schematic. I just looked at some pictures and rolled it. And, yep, it's fixed. And the best part about the LC network is I got a better Q. It's a lower Q now. So it's dealing with 923 plus J of 262, which is ridiculous. But that's what happens when you're loading up 120 feet of ladder line to a 160 antenna on this frequency.
Oh, that tapping the coil and not shorting the unused portion creates an auto transformer effect. So the voltage on the far end, the unshorted end, is ungodly.
But you can't
You're
short
telling
two
me it was
turns.
arcing something awful, Chris.
You know, I've been there. Maybe you can get free electricity that way in fusion.
Yeah, and a lot of ozone in the shack.
This is why they use shorting band switches, progressively shorting band switches in amplifiers.
As long as you don't short too few turns, then you end up with eddy currents.
Well, the funny, stupid part was, because of the miswiring, the common mode choke I made burned up. Gee, you think?
Oh, wait, you ran your 24 pill in there?
Hell yeah! It's on right now at full tap because it's fixed, but before it just destroyed everything.
The next time Timtron pops up on here, ask him to tell you the story of eddy current and milliamp.
Sounds like his air staff.
Oh, it's an HLR classic.
You are burying the poor carrier level meter. It's complaining.
Who's complaining?
Well, I do it all for Fred to make sure I put a good signal into Albany while he can't get on HF.
He's back.
JBL and you. You're making my carrier level meter complain. It's bending over backwards.
What's your receiver?
R390A, customized and aligned by Bear.
Yeah, Chris, you're 60 over. Bear's 50 over. Everybody else is 50 over.
Hey, Brent, how's my butt?
Much narrower. Narrower than my ass, Dan.
Is it puckered?
I never heard you made a lewd and lascivious remark in my life. What are you, on drugs?
No. It's not lewd and lascivious. It's just suggestive.
You're killing me.
Y'all need some private time. Hey, Chris, he's back.
George?
The macaroni net is back.
All right.
Oh, George, help us.
He was on QRZ's Spotlight ham radio operator last week or the week before.
What is that, a podcast?
No, he's back on the air, Chris. Hey, Blaine, we need the intro to the macaroni net.
Where did you hear him? Because the last time I heard him on 75, that was probably over the summer, he's calling CQ down around 3865 in the daytime. There's nobody on. 15 jammers came out of the woodwork and chased him off.
I've turned on I sneezed on the transmitter and now it's all screwed up. Does it sound a little distorted? But yeah, it works. Well, that's okay. Hopefully nobody's listening.
You sound like you got a booger stuck in your VFO tuning cap.
Yeah, it sounds a bit nasally there, Billy.
Sounds like distorted.
What's the sideband? How do I sound like sideband? That's really loud. Hopefully I sound okay, but it's not a sideband right now. I'm going to talk to
You only got one sideband, Bill.
Lose the FM.
Lose
the FMing and keep the wobulation. The wobulation is the most effective, and it doesn't F up your leg.
I don't mind having it up on but alright, let's just do a little bit. Just a little bit. Alright, there we go. Did I fix it?
Oh, that's beautiful. We'll use that as the exemplar for all new AM operators. We'll play him the tape.
Oh. Yeah, we need his plane still in here.
What is ham radio and how do you do it? That's my question.
There are videos that explain that.
Hey, you get a microphone, a couple of wires, some tubes, and an antenna. It just says ham radio.
Yeah, steal a radio somewhere.
Yeah, what time is this flight supposed to land?
And now we got somebody up 5.
Yeah, I hear that. I was trying to adjust my receiver to compensate for that, but I think it affected
my transmit somehow.
It might have been a sneezulator.
I remember Timmy's wobulating VFO. He had attached a wire to the outside.
Oh, that was just... yes, that's called the crazy area. And it's achieved digitally now with the advent of the ASBE.
Yeah, Timmy is relying on the wind swinging his antenna.
Terminate the experiment at this point. It's not productive.
Wait, what's going on there? Did you say AM Facebook sucks?
Yeah, I did, but no. Yeah, okay. Woo!
What? How come I've got more energy in the upper sideband direction than in the lower sideband direction? What's up with that? How do I fix that?
When you apply frequency modulation to an AM signal, certain components find themselves 180 degrees out of phase and cancel. So you can lose part of one sideband. My mobile transmitter and the transmitters that I use, the ARC-5, these World War II transmitters I have up in the Adirondacks, do that. People are always busting my balls. In my case, I have a reduced upper sideband, but that's what's happening. It's phase cancellation between the AM sidebands and the FM sidebands.
Is there something I can tweak on this rig to make it stop doing all this crazy crap?
What type of radio is it, Billy?
It's a red Pitaya. It's like a little circuit. I guess I don't know where the radio actually is. I guess you could say the radio is in software, but then it's like really confusing. There's all these numbers and stuff. Like I'm just looking for something I could tweak with a screwdriver. Like what's radio? Like how do radios work?
Okay, what are you smoking tonight?
My vape. It's cock flavored.
Whatever. Hey, excuse me. I gotta run to the refrigerator and the incident command center. If anybody cares, we'll be right back after this. W2JBL.
WKC2DHU for identification.
W1DA2.
I got a crap out.
Uh-oh, what is it?
Oh, wait a minute. I thought I had a crap out. Never mind. Operator error.
Everything's just fine. W2BTK.
It's always nice.
Yeah,
when
we
the
were
crap out
FMing
craps
on
back in.
purpose. I remember that. But you could listen on FM. It sounded wonderful.
I just slapped it like Fonzie, and it seemed to solve all my problems. How's this thing working now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Sounds fine business here in Tompkins Cove.
He's spanking it.
Yeah, no spanking it.
I slapped it.
Like my date.
I do more than that. I beat the hell out of myself, when it comes to that.
Some women just don't listen.
I think my work here is done. W2BTK.
Beat the kitten.
Never.
Beat the knob?
No. Billy the Kid, and that's it. Or Born to Kill, or whatever you want to call it.
Oh my God, who showed up on 70?
Carry it, Mike.
Oh, Carrie's signal's pretty wide.
Yeah, I think her modulation polarity is backwards, and she's getting some high frequency spheres of audio. Yes.
I think we should all use 2.4K of audio bandwidth to be respectful.
Fight me.
That's what I'm going to do from now on.
Be respectful. What is this, the macaroni net?
Yeah, because AM is illegal, and if you're going to do it, you can only use, you got to be respectful with 2.4K audio.
You sound like dog squeezing.
You sound like you're on an ICOM.
I am. It's my. Well, hold on. I could get tighter than that. You probably can't even understand me anymore. Hold on. Let's get a little tighter. I don't want to get yelled at. All right. There we go. 1500. That's it. That's all I'm doing from now on.
Wow. Audio through a CW filter.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
There's a lot of rice boxes that are that narrow.
Hey, Chris, you remember that night, W1IA, make sure I got it. We were on the air, it was all the tall ships, you, Gary, INR, WWL, JJ, and this nitwit shows up with his chest puffed out. I just spent $11,000 in plastic radios. How do I sound? Do you remember what Gary did to him?
There's a lot of nights like that. No, I don't.
Oh my God! I think he went back to the store and returned everything.
Well, he just bought the wrong stuff.
No, I mean he had no clue. He was all excited. He went out and spent his, month's salary on plastic garbage, and then thought he would sound wonderful on AM.
He's making $11,000 a month. What's he do?
It's just an analogy, Billy.
Clark touches on this frequently. People hear us, and they think they can go out to the radio store and buy this audio and so on and so forth. And of course you can, but it still requires some level of expertise, or at least read the freaking manual.
Or buy an Anon.
Yeah, an Anon reflects, and you can pull it off, but even then, you still got to do an awful lot with antennas to make it all work.
Well, no, that's what I meant was that you can buy the Flex, you can buy the Anon, and this and that and the other thing. And if you don't have somebody to help you set it up, or if you don't have a clue, you're going to sound like Billy did a few minutes ago.
God damn, I hope this thing doesn't sound that bad. This is a rice box and just a hunk of wire outside with a lean yaw on it.
Yeah, Gotham Vertical.
5 pounds and gets hot.
Pretty much. Well, the box under it gets hot, let's put it that way. It gets warm, the rice box.
I've determined that 6.3K is the perfect corner frequency for AM amateur radio. That's me, W2BTK.
All right, now publish that.
5.7 is fine with 3 dB roll-off.
Oh, guess what, Billy? And I was going to mention this before. That's where I'm starting to roll off, and it's all over, just slightly above that, and nobody bothers me. And Bill, I was going to comment to you that since you've been back on the air, excuse me, you're not killing 3885 anymore when you're on 3873. Much better. Congratulations. Nice, clean, tight.
Oh, I was running 10 times the power before, and I just told myself I'd stop doing that.
No, it's not the power. It's not the power. I don't have anything. You can't overload the receivers I have here. It was bandwidth, so you cut it down to a bandwidth that I favor anyway.
Yeah, 6.3 is a real pleasing spot. Just like I was, playing with filters in my own voice and stuff and do when I get bored. And 6.3 was a pretty, it's all there. Anything that I add above 6.3 is really not contributing a lot of useful information into the modulation at all. Just kind of it's not going to do anything for you, at least with my vocal range, Some people might benefit from a little bit more or whatever, but, it started to be the payoff for adding more frequencies beyond that was, no longer good enough to have them there, if you know what I mean.
Billy.
But then if I start getting below 6 or 6.3, approaching 6, then I can really start to hear a drastic change. And then by the time I get down into the 5 range, it's truncated off a bunch of stuff which I personally find to be useful for intelligibility, clarity, and just sounding natural in a limited amount of bandwidth. So there you go.
W1I 8 o'clock. Hey, Billy.
Good night, guys.
Good night, Dan. Billy, you got a 120 cycle acoustical or something right in the background real low?
Probably, yeah. Yes.
Oh, okay. Just asking. I can hear with the signal to noise ratios tonight. It's just, like you're sitting here. Everybody's in the room tonight.
That's his Portuguese books on tape subcarrier he brokers out.
Oh, crap. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. This band is so noisy most of the time. There's so much quirm and trash. You can't listen to much more than a 10 kc bandwidth anyway. Most of the time for me, well, not tonight, but most of the time for me, I can't open the receiver up much more than 8 without it, all kinds of crap piling in. So go much above 5 or 6. Most people aren't going to hear it anyway.
That's the only thing. I consider it much beyond 5.7. Make sure I got it. It's kind of a wasted energy, and especially the subharmonic tones. My God, those eat up power. And before I got the sub audio clipped off with the DBX, you could hear somebody walk across the floor upstairs, ka-thunk, ka-thunk, ka-thunk. And you can see the speakers go in and out at a 1 hertz tone.
I have a recording of the day when you came to that realization you were messing with all that stuff. We thought there was like a helicopter or something.
Yeah, you were on frequency that day. And I had to, knock down all the stuff below. What have I got it set? Everything below 50 hertz is gone.
I've been doing that for years. Yeah, it saves mod iron and stuff. In fact, I'm damn near flat from 100 until I start my rise. And I do a little bump around, I do a little bump at around 80, and that's it. The low end is flat. It's anything below, 63. Anything below 63 is all the way down.
Well, the thing is, Chris, the E-rigs or PDM circuits don't suffer from any type of degradation, so if you pump a 1 hertz signal into it, it'll pass it without any problem. And I got the current behind it, so it's pretty obnoxious if you don't get rid of that sub-audio band.
It was actually pretty impressive, that it could do that. I think, what was it, your washing machine or something was going on in another room, dun, 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 dun. And, we could hear it.
There was a dryer going, Billy.
That too. I have a lot of rigs that'll do that.
Tap the table.
Otherwise, scream.
Oh my God! It just, and I can see it on the speaker.
But you're right, Brent. Yeah, that crap.
Got sub audio going.
If you're
that stuff below 50
frequency,
hertz, especially real low thumps. The speaker just bounces.
I suspect that was a big double.
Yeah, I heard you both.
We've had outstanding conditions from 4 o'clock on, right through. The band went through a little shift, but now it's rock solid with an S1 or 2 noise floor here.
Yeah, it's like that here. It's about S3. It's just atmospheric noise. Yeah, it's been good. It's been good. And, Brett, I don't know if you've been doing the DX thing much lately, but Jesus Christ, I got up the other morning and 6 meters was open. And it's not E-skip. 10 meters is open every morning. CB is freaking roaring.
Oh, you weren't on maybe a couple of weeks ago, Chris? K7 Papa Peter from Washington State was 20 over S9. And I got an S9 from him off the side of the array. Man, It's just been wild. I was down on the sideband of the DX window a little below it and talked to VKs and ZLs like they were in the room. Man, the band's been hot. We're on a good sunspot cycle.
Oh, I know. Much better than the last one. Yeah, I'm hearing that activity. I'm hearing freaking VK and ZL and JA long past during the day, late afternoon on my wire antenna. And I'm waiting for a good opening to the West Coast for AM. I just realized the other day, just because of the lay of the land here, the property, this antenna is broadside east-west. My God, I get into Central Europe like you wouldn't believe with it on slot bucket run. I'm waiting to work the West Coast here on AM, and 40 slot bucket is off the charts too.
W2GR.
Hey, Gordon. Good evening.
Hey, that was a double. Who's that?
W1IA.
Hey, how are you? And how are you, Chris?
Oh, I'm doing good. Happy New Year. And, where you're at, my shop, my GE two-way radio shop was located there back in the day. A lot of friends down there.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Did you have a good New Year?
Yeah, alone. My brother came up, stayed over Christmas. That was nice because Christmas alone really sucks. Yeah, I had a good time last night.
Okay, yeah, we kind of laid low here. Booming in here. How's my signal over there on our long DX?
You're 50 over, I think. Something. Yeah, you're 50 over, as a lot of the stations are in here. The only thing that didn't happen, it was a normal New Year's Eve up here. The only thing that didn't happen, which would normally be, is that somebody about a half a mile up the mountain from me here, every New Year's and 4th of July and Labor Day, I don't know how they get away with it, but they're putting on like a 45-minute Grucci fireworks display. There were no fireworks last night. I'm hoping they do it tonight.
That's a lot.
Oh, it was serious. Heavy artillery. Nobody ever called the cops on them.
Jeez. Good audio, man, by the way. How does this Anand sound?
Sounds excellent. Well, this is Herb's audio, man. This is the Empire Buster.
Great. It's got heavy-duty modulation.
Oh, yeah, it does. It does. In fact, I'm hitting too hard. Yes, it makes a lot of audio.
So, Brent, how are you? How was your New Year's?
Quiet, Gordon. Quiet. I just, I've been boring people with the double L matched tuner, and finally got all the bugs out of that, and it's on high tap, running the E-rig tonight into the flat top, and right now I'm on the array, but I got all the bugs out of it. Yep, I made a beautiful Tesla coil out of it until I fixed the wiring, but I've been quiet. Just enjoying tonight's the most I've operated in a long time. Been on here since, 3 o'clock, and moved up from 70. So, a lot of good company, having a ball, and I'm glad you got the Optimod all straightened out. Sound marvelous at 50 over.
Hey, you too, man. You guys sound great. It can't get any better. It's very hard for me to go back to sideband. I have to tell you, you get spoiled. But I really look forward to the bands getting better and doing a little bit of AM with some European stations. Chris, I think you mentioned that. Man, that would be the best.
Well, I'm working Europe on sideband here. But yes, get up on... Those Europeans are on 15 meters. 21-430. You'll find them on 10 meters in the morning. There's a few guys around. So, yeah. A lot of fun. And anytime you want, I'd be happy to come down there with the bow and arrow and the JBL antenna launching system and put up an antenna like you had in the past. It'll cost you a pizza from Venetian Delight.
I had, well, as you know, I had that antenna. I'm not seeing that much benefit with the 140-foot dipole fed with 450 ohm. I know you like the 4-inch space real deal, but say 450 ohm window line and this beautiful balance tuner, which is sort of like your Johnson Matchbox style. It was great, but when I went to the off-center Fed at 50 feet, it's pretty much the same. Is it possible that balanced antenna was only a couple of dB better?
A couple of dB is a lot in antennas. 3 dB is a lot. Height, mostly it's height. Put it another way, if I were upstate, if I were at my camp up in the Adirondack Mountains, 250 miles north and a little bit west of here, I would probably see between the truly balanced antenna at 70 feet and what you have now, I'd probably see the balanced antenna probably 10 dB better at 250 miles, 300 miles.
Really? So I'm thinking 2 dB is what you would see. So you're saying with a 2 dB difference, the performance could be 10 dB in certain circumstances, right?
Yeah, it's all about height. Mostly it's about getting it, 60, 70 feet or above. That's where it really starts, and that elevation, makes a huge difference as you start to get out there.
Yeah,
your
I
takeoff
understand. No, I'm
angle starts
apples
to
to apples.
drop,
If these
Gordon.
were both at the same height, I'm saying if I'm 2 dB more ERP, you'll get me 2 dB hotter, a third of an S unit upstate. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, probably, but the benefits of being perfectly balanced also is more important. The benefits of being balanced versus unbalanced and off-center fed is unbalanced. Common mode rejection. You don't get common mode rejection. That's how 600 ohm audio works. Twisted pair, 180 signals 180 degrees out of phase. Don't pick up any outside noise. Well, the same is true with antennas. So when you go off-center fed with the dipole, no matter how you feed it, the noise level is going to come up versus the perfectly balanced antenna. And I'm talking about power line noise, RFI, all the tons of RFI generated in your house, and in particular, all that stuff gets knocked way down when you go balanced.
Ah, okay, so noise on receive. Yeah, my noise sucks right now. My noise now, I have line noise at S9. I never had that before, and I thought maybe Con Ed had done something. So that's what it is. It's this unbalanced crap. Well, I have the 2 BT 1500s. Great Polestar tuners. I have the 450 ohm ladder line, $1 a foot. And then I have that cross-shaped, ladder line to antenna, whatever it is, that little adapter. It was great. I mean, I had 3 or 4 of them, 5 of them up there. I had a 3-element Yagi. Did I tell you about the Yagi?
Hey, Gordon.
Yeah.
There's another benefit that, is not so obvious. If you were running a 160 antenna and you're running open wire, your Q ends up like a bandpass filter, so inherently quieter than an unbalanced feed line with an OCF antenna. But you also have lobes on the multipliers, and you'll notice that. The second and third multiplier from the fundamental frequency, you start getting gain lobes. So there's so many other factors you got to consider. But yes, the antenna will be quieter. You get a lower takeoff angle for the most part. The higher you can get, and you'll see. 2 dB is huge. That's, not necessarily for local talk and NIVIS, but once you start going out, like Chris said, 250 miles or more, it'll be very obvious.
Yeah, I had the doublet, as I called it, up at about 75 feet, broadside northeast, southwest, so it was great for 80 meters over into England. So at 3790 out of blast on sideband. Then I put a director about 5% shorter, about 30 feet in front of that, parasitic, and 5% larger behind it, about 55 feet, as a reflector, and man, the signal when I switched from the regular doublet, also balance fed, to the wire beam in California was difference between S8 or 9 to 15 over. So we're talking about 15 to 20 dB final result. It was not just the height, because they were both at the same height, but the takeoff angle of the beam seemed to be lower. And night and day, I could have a QSO all night with the 80-meter guys, but I'd have to go on a SDR sometimes, even though my receiver was better. No noise, and Europe just disappeared. All that digital crap.
Well, except there's only one problem with parasitic antenna. No, it's great antenna, but what are you going to do for the other bands?
Nope, I thought so, but nope. I went on 40 meters. I modeled it on EasyNick, same. 20 got weird. 20 got off on its 45-degree angle, but 40 meters, you can check it out. It was the same. It was 11.9 dB forward gain, maybe about 15 on the side, maybe 18 on the back, because the distance between the elements and the beam width and bandwidth was random based on trees and Dacron. But no, on 40, I was 30 over 9 in the Midwest when everybody else was probably 15 dB less. So for 40, it was crazy, but it got a little finicky in terms of a more narrow lobe.
Yeah, the higher you go in frequency, the more directional it becomes in freaky ways. Gordon, quick question. How much real estate do you have? How much property do you have to hang antennas over?
Well, look, we had a direct hit here, so the YL is freaked out about even me having this up there because, the house went on fire. We lost the whole recording studio, all the ham gear. So I'm easing her into it, because that was pretty scary there. We were on the floor, we couldn't see, we couldn't breathe. It was a traumatic thing. So, right now I have a static charge, lightning arrestor to stop attracting it a little bit with 2 ground rods. And when I see the lightning app go crazy and lightning maps, I usually have a jump on it. I go out there and disconnect it at a junction point. So I'm going to put those, forgot what you call it, those power connectors, the red and black, forgot what they call them, but like 100 amp or 200 amp, somewhere in between the house and the antenna for this proposed balanced antenna, and explain it to her. About 7/10 of an acre.
Oh, okay. So you got enough room to play around. That's good. That's good. Sorry to hear about the lightning hit. I'm going to guess if it was that bad that you had a fire and, major damage, it didn't just hit the antenna. Because that can't carry enough current into the house to do that kind of damage necessarily. That it probably hit something else more directly.
No, it hit the antenna. Chris, excuse me. The 160 antenna, all these are fed by 450 ohm. The 160, the 3-element Yagi, the 40 meter dipole, and the 80 meter doublet. The next morning we went outside. There wasn't a trace of anything. Nothing. A few little pieces of plastic coating shriveled up. All the steel had vaporized. The explosion in the house was 1 by 2 feet through the whole wall where the 4 feed lines came in. And so somehow those 4 feed lines carried several million volts, the amps I don't know, into the house, because I have a picture of it. It blew the wall out of an explosion, threw me back. As a matter of fact, I was holding the feed line in my hand while using a pair of pliers, which wouldn't have helped much, and a towel, and yanked it out of the tuner and broke one of the lugs 2.5 seconds before it hit. I yanked it out because I heard the lightning getting closer, ran back, and kaboom. And all the rigs, you couldn't even, they were charcoal. You couldn't even recognize a name, a button, recording equipment that wasn't plugged in across the room, not disintegrated, but completely destroyed. Every appliance in the house. The electrical system was untouched. The Con Ed wires outside were untouched. Shingles were missing. that were right by the feed line, and my neighbors came by from 3 houses down and said, is this your shingle?
A direct hit? Good Lord.
Yeah, that's a direct hit. I had that happen at my mother's house twice. I had antennas up 80, 100 feet there, and that was at sea level in Mamaroneck. And we weren't lightning prone, but I got hit twice. Same thing, the antennas vaporized, but I never lost any equipment. My mom lost she lost a VCR and some light bulbs and stuff. But that was from another hit. It hit a 200-year-old, 180 or 200-foot oak tree in her front yard, direct hit, and that tree was only 8 feet from the house. When it hit the tree, on that occasion, that's when she had the damage. But nothing from the antennas getting vaporized. But I don't disconnect. I dump everything to ground, and I'm religious about it. Whenever when I close the ham shack and I'm done for the night, all the various feed lines, I have 3 antennas fed with balanced line. They're all grounded. Excuse me, number 6 straight down out the window to a bunch of ground rods and a perimeter halo ground around that. Wow, sorry to hear you had to suffer through that, man. That's a badass hit, W2JBL.
Yeah, and the thing is, fire extinguishers are great if you can see them. The smoke I can't see without glasses, so the smoke would make my glasses black every 2 seconds. I couldn't see the fire. We had to get on the floor, crawl, get some towels. The thing that was most flammable in the recording studio was those Auralex panels. Very flammable.
That I don't know. I'm not familiar with that equipment, but man, that's a hellish scenario. Good God. Well, one thing, I did so much public safety work. One of the things the fire department, the firemen taught me was like in the ham shack. Okay, it's nice to have a fire extinguisher in the ham shack, but you better have one outside the ham shack in case you can't find the one in the ham shack. So, I kind of follow that. I hope you had a good experience with Hartsdale Fire. I didn't.
Oh, they were great. I mean, they came in. I had put most of the fire out by then, but I didn't know what the hell was going to go on. They came in and I said, oh, my God, this place is leveled. It's charcoal. And I'm still like there, in my boxers at midnight, and the guy sees my gold record on the wall and goes, hey, man, is this yours? Hey, that's a great picture with so-and-so. And I'm like, guys, we have a fire here.
Yeah, I did their radio work for years. It's an interesting crew. Oh, sorry again. I'm sorry you had to go through all of that. I had no idea.
Yeah, she's freaked out. She's not happy about this off-center fed. That's why I put it at 50 feet. I can take it down by just unhooking the Dacron and disconnect it. She looked at it. She said, okay, but, man, if the family... Chris, I was hit to an extent because the explosion threw me back a couple of feet, and the the nails that held the frame of the window shot out. I have pictures of it. They shot out like bullets. It was looking for anything metal. They shot out and went into the wall over my head, the wall behind me. So she went through hell, and and then I lost my memory for a week or two easily. I mean, I couldn't remember. For a few days I couldn't spell. I know it sounds funny, but I had to take something to take off work. So the amount of sound that generated, that smack sound, and the light and the air pressure was basically an explosion.
Oh, I know. I've been there. I'll tell you that in a second. Yeah, you're lucky. You're damn lucky. One of my mentors, a dear friend and mentor, now Silent Key, Bill Nagel, Dr. William Nagel, W3DUQ, was struck. He wasn't his station. Bill was hit by lightning, and that resulted in him for many years, forever, the rest of his life, believing that, and I think he did actually have some psychic powers. He had some interesting mentalist things going on. But
I've had multiple experiences with lightning hits at transmitter sites. Northern lights flying around the the site, you know, it's just freaking crazy. I've had crazy stuff happen to me. The worst, I'm in Mamaroneck at Robert Drexler Shipyard in, I'm going to say, May or June 1976. I'm working on a 50-foot steel-hulled ketch with teak decks, gorgeous boat. I'm working on the navigation instruments on it, and the mainmast was a good 50-odd feet over the water line, and the weather was threatening, but I felt safe and secure because that shipyard had a monster crane that they had brought up from the Philadelphia Naval Shipyard. That crane towered, God, over the deck, over the work platform, probably 200 feet, 250 feet above the high tide level. So I'm down in this ketch on the dock, and the weather's getting bad. Oh, shit, I'm going to keep working. And if lightning hits, it's going to hit the crane, because it always hit the crane. Guess what? It hit the main mast of the boat that I was on, and, yeah, it was like a mortar shell going off, and the whole nine, and I was deaf for a couple of days. The bolt came down the main mast of the boat, down into the head, that's the bathroom, and down through the head, the head being the toilet, and blew the discharge assembly out of the hull and sank the boat.
Jeez, you know, that's incredible. You know, a direct hit is almost unpredictable. There's nothing you can do. And I do think it was directly on the antennas. And the neighbors saw it. I have one neighbor. This is W2GOR for ID. I have one neighbor across the street who was watching the lightning because there were many strikes on their way over here because I'm in a very high spot. And, by the way, my antenna was on top of all the trees. He said that the dirt and shingles and just stuff from my house, when it hit, splashed on his window and almost broke his glass. And let me take a look. He's maybe 125, 150 feet away from me. So this was huge. And a neighbor 3 houses down was struck at the same time. And then I had the neighbors telling me that my recording studio is what attracted the lightning. So I explained that his wife's 1,500-watt blow dryer draws more than my console, and then he was very offended. And then I called him back and said, you know, you owe me a thank you because I was your lightning rod. I'll send you an invoice.
That ridge that runs from High Point, the High Point Hartsdale condos, at the bottom of the hill on Fulton Street, which is actually White Plains, that's where my shop was. But that ridge running down along Central Avenue from there all the way down into Yonkers, oh, God, there's a bunch of AMers that live. Rich, KB2AM, lives there. I think Mark, KC2GJW, he lives on that ridge on the Yonkers end. That's always been rather lightning prone, W2JBL.
Yeah, W2GR. Brett, sorry to monopolize here. You got me excited.
Yeah, no, just other people in here. No, I can't fathom. Make sure I got it. I just can't fathom something that dramatic occurring, Gordon. But oh my God, yeah, no surprise. When you said she was nervous about lightning, you never really explained the whole story. So, you know, that segues into a lightning strike story here. That we had a flood in 2006 from the incessant amount of rain that went on for 2 weeks, and we had bought the house in '99. And anyway, the story goes the basement was flooded, 3,000 gallons an hour coming in, so that precipitated having to put in French drains and down the hills into a dry well. Well, we have a finished basement, or did, and had to rip up all the carpets. So Colleen hired a friend from work's husband, and he's down here. He had a heart condition. I was a little hesitant to have him do it, but it was so much work getting wet carpet out of here, especially in the station. So he's ripping it up. He's underneath a gate leg table. We take an indirect strike in the front lawn. It traveled through the lawn on the wet ground, came through the ground rod, jumped 6 inches and banged him on the arm. And he banged his head up against the underside of the desk, the table. So we pulled him out and put him in the reclining chair I had down here at the time. And mind you, the guy suffered from arrhythmia with headaches. And I thought he was going to sue the crap out of us. Anyway, the next day, over a period of a couple days, I find out that his heart problem and the arrhythmia went away. So we jump-started him.
I mean to laugh, but oh, jeez, yeah, right. Oh boy. Anyway, so Chris, that's why I'm gonna think about it. But anyway, I don't want to monopolize it here. Chris, you want to pass it around? And that's a crazy story. Well, listen, guys, we have to be careful. We have enough stories. Go ahead, Chris.
To LJO. Hi, George. Merry Christmas. Because I got your Christmas card yesterday. Oh, problem in the mail. And Happy New Year, SW2JBL. Yeah, Gordon, one more. Two more. Another time, this is in the 80s, I guess. I'm at my mom's house. And we're watching the lightning striking all the hell over the place. And it hit the tree that supported my 160-meter dipole, about 90 or 100 feet. Hit the tree, blew the bark off of the tree and everything. And I had no damage to the antenna at all that time. The next time is when it nailed the antenna. So, yeah, lightning is... Jesus, I've got 100 hours or something like that of at least of classroom training for Motorola on grounding and lightning protection. Interesting and scary subject.
Yeah, definitely. And by the way, see if I have it. W3DUQ Bill. Bill and I had some amazing conversations. I think he was a whiz. And he spoke about a lot of very interesting metaphysical things. Some that people may have laughed at, but I think he was affected by something, and he had a little portal into something, Chris. Loved that guy, and a pioneer. And I used to listen to him in the 70s. So that would be 45 years ago. And he had that chirping sound to remind you of the ID? He was the first one who had that.
Sure. Well, Tim Tron and myself, we have a lot in common, but one of the things that's very important that Tim and I have in common is that our mentor in AM was Bill Nagel. Because my father was my mentor in radio, but he didn't like anything with a microphone, so he only helped me get the RF part of it. Excuse me.
Guys up north, let's go down to 80.
Oh, great guy, and through the late 60s and through the 70s up for a long time.
Kevin,
Bill and myself did all sorts of
some guys up north
fooling around, psychic research, this, that, and the other thing. I'm clairvoyant, and I have astral vision, so Bill and I got along real good. Man, we did all kinds of freaky stuff.
Go down to 80.
Yeah, there's a lot of stations in the background trying to break in. You want to pick them up and see what they want?
Somebody's there. We'll try.
Yeah, they got another queue is starting up. They're going to move down to 80.
Well, that works.
Yeah, we'll move on down to 75, guys.
Hey, that's great, because it takes 10 kilocycles between AM QSOs, just like the CB.
Let's go to 75.
Yeah, the other group is on 70. WB2GC, I've come back.
Well, Happy New Year to that station out there, wherever you are.
5, and there's a queue on 70, but I don't know if they're still there on 70. Anyway, hi, Bear.
Yeah, they're there, but the QSO switched over to a topic I don't want to comment on. So I'd rather talk about lightning protection, because that's something that bugs the crap out of me. I've read so much on it.
Got a phone call.
Jeez.
Well, they split the
Bear,
difference.
you want to know about lightning protection?
Amount of space.
Motorola R56 standards for site grounding and so on and so forth. That's what I'm schooled in. Motorola R56. The document is about 500 pages. You can most likely find, I don't think you'll find a current version of it,
But you'll find versions of it online, and I was tested on that. Friggin' 500 pages. It's a fascinating read. It's how Motorola does it. Cell site, transmitter site development, and I follow a lot of that personally. They make a big deal out of it because it is, but it works.
I got a colonoscopy to do. I'll be right back. And one BCG.
Oh, that's great.
I think we talked about that, Chris, and I think I downloaded a copy of that. And I have another number of other very high-quality sources on that. What it comes down to is I don't know if I can afford it. Hey, you know, you got to put a king's ransom worth of metal in the ground to make it work. But we're going to have to do something because we're putting up this tower in the spring. I think I know what I'm going to do, and I think it's going to work. But, you know, when we talk again, there's some 4,000 people on. We'll, not that there's that many, but, you know, when we have clear sailing, I'll run it down for you. Let me know if you see anything glaringly wrong, and then we'll take it from there.
Yeah. I'm curious. Well, we'll talk on the phone or something. I'm curious about your site development plans. I'll just leave it at that. We should definitely talk. I don't agree with everything in R56. I think a lot of it is superfluous BS. But when I did a major site, put a major site together, a major installation, there were times when there were Motorola people, corporate people would come out and inspect the installation, and they were busting BAs big time. Oh, you can't use a black wire for ground. The installation has to be green, and remove that 90-degree bend.
Yeah. Well, I can appreciate that. Yeah, my issue is going to be the anyway. It'll be it's complicated, but I think I see the way through it, so it's cool. Anybody who doesn't know, I magically acquired a self-supporting lean over. It's not a tilt over; it's a lean over. It cranks down and leans over under guidance. Tower of some decent size and structure freestanding, and it's going to go up on the rise. It's like not a cliff exactly, but it's the abutment behind the main QTH on the country estate, which is about 60-70 feet up off the main ground, and it's going to go up there. It has a real good shot everywhere. So it's a great location for radio. I've operated there for years. And, it's got to go up. So, I got lucky that way. So it's a freestanding tilt over and crank up tower. And so grounding is going to be an issue.
Hey, a gentleman from Florida is running a 3-element array on 78.
Is he on AM?
Yeah, WA4, WAM. Jeff, I've spoken with him before in Florida. He's about 40 over on the 3 elements pointed this way. Good Lord.
Oh, that's one of the a-holes from the damn 3885 Tuesday, Thursday net that tears us up every day, twice a week.
Yeah, they just went to 3875.
Oh, how fun for Steve and Mike are at 3870, and none of them have small signals.
Yeah, F that guy, the WA4WAM. Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not going to say anything, but at least they're on 78.
Remember, we're Northern Yankees.
Well, that's part of the problem. Is those guys are, I've sent all manner of complaints to those people, both nasty and nice, and they never even respond. So, and half of them they don't have, valid email addresses on QRZ and so on and so forth. I'm not going to go there now. That's it. I went far enough with that. Actually, look at the time. I'm going to get out of here. I promised myself I was going to play the guitar today, which I haven't in about 4 or 5 days. I've kind of taken a sabbatical and reoriented things, and I'm not killing myself practicing woodshedding every night. Now I'm playing when I feel like it. It's much better. The creativity has come back, and I'm really enjoying it. So you guys will pardon me. I'm going to go do that, pick up one of my Gibsons and make some noise. I'll see you all a little further down the radio highway. Good night all. Happy New Year, W2JBL.
7-3, Chris. Good to hear you, old man.
Have the finest business evening. A Happy New Year.
7-3, Chris. Yep, good night, George. Let me know when I can come down there with a bow and arrow. Yeah, okay. I got to figure that out. I'm still cleaning up the mess. Did I tell you what happened with the septic system?
Yeah, I know the whole story.
I wasn't sure. Okay. All right, 7-3. Happy New Year.
Is that George?
Yes.
I was just looking at your QRZ pictures. You got some nice pictures up there. Very nice.
Thank you, Bear. Greatly appreciated. Thank you. I appreciate that very much.
Yeah, what is that? An FTDX 400 or something on a shelf? The AC?
It's FTDX 401. Actually, it's just an FT401B. They dropped the DX. I think that was the last one of that line that they made.
They got the 4 sweep tubes in it?
Yep, got the sweepies in it and like 24, 25 other tubes.
I think the monotooth net wants their frequency back.
Well, the SOL. My mentor in all things ham radio, W2UO, Uncle Oscar, former chief engineering supervisor for WOR up at Empire. He had one of those. He got one of those when they were brandy new, an FTDX 400. Oh, man. And we were kids, you know. I was like 16, 15, 16. Went over to Bob's house, an apartment in the Bronx, and Bob tuned it in, and he, talked to people, and that thing had lots of power, and it was the coolest thing ever.
Got all tuned up, called CQDX on 20 meters, and worked Hoboken.
Oh, he got out pretty good, but yeah, that's the idea.
Well, Bear,
I might be checking out 160 later.
Bear, Mark, I don't know if you know Mark KA2QFX. He's my Elmer. Actually, his picture is on my QRZ page. He modified that radio to put an AM filter in it. So it's got an INRAD AM filter that switches in on AM and out on sideband. And it works very, very nicely. And I had the tap. I tapped off the IF so I can run it into one of those mixer boards that I have and use the flip software. I just don't use the radio enough, unfortunately. It's got one small issue. It's like a Kenwood with the carrier level floats around, but one of these days I'll get around to taking care of it. But I like the radio.
Well, it's kind of past its prime, but yeah, it's cool. Yeah, I know Mark. I've been up to his kids' youth, but when his kids were small. And it seems like it was yesterday, and that's not good. Yeah. Mark's a really smart guy. He's one of those guys who's like, he's smarter than I am. I'm okay. A lot of people think I'm really smart, but I know I'm not. He's pretty darn smart, let me tell you.
Here, RF cryptocurrency mining. That's what it comes down to. And you're sharing Wi-Fi with other people. And the better reach you have, or the more peers you have, the more mining you're able to do. It's a really interesting concept. It's a great idea. But the problem is enough people are not getting on board to really make it, very financially, how would you say it, fiscally rewarding. I'll leave it at that.
So you want to be up high in a big city.
Exactly. If you're in Manhattan and you have computing resources and you can get an antenna up on the roof of your building, you'll make a killing with helium. And helium's not an expensive coin right now. But again, if you have the resources, you're in the right spot, and you can make a lot of piers, you'll do great. But for me, out in Pennsylvania, it's like, we tried to start we tried to start a local network here. It was like, this is pointless. I'm not making anything.
Right. If it works on numbers of piers, you got to be in the middle of a big city, preferably one that's tech savvy.
And see now, if the big cities picked it up, and we got a few intermediaries, like, well, you know what? I mean, like, so for example, Ken, if Ken could get more into western New Jersey and then I picked it up, the more you grow the network.
Read a schematic now that I couldn't years ago, and I could change parts and figure out this or that. I did modify the Ico and the Ranger and some other things, but I'm not even close to either one of you guys.
Hey, George, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Brooklyn, which is where I know Mark from. So I'm originally from Brooklyn. 35 years there. I was licensed while I lived down there, but I never really got too active on HF because of the antenna restrictions. Then I moved to Yonkers. I lived there for about nine years. Same issue. And then when I bought the house here in Yorktown about 16 years ago, that's when I started to get really active on HF. So I am a Brooklyn boy, as is... Well, actually, Mark was originally from Staten Island, but when I knew him, he lived in Brooklyn.
Oh, I thought he was from Queens. You tell me he's from Brooklyn?
He's actually from Staten Island. His family owned Seduto Ice Cream. I don't know if you ever heard of the company. His dad sold it to Haagen-Dazs, I think, in the mid-'90s. If you went into an Italian restaurant and ordered...
Oh, yeah, wow.
His family's company, and a lot of people recognize the brand, some people don't. But so he grew up in Staten Island, and I guess then when he married his first wife, he lived in Brooklyn, and that was when I know him. When I first knew him, I was on 11 meters with my Ranger 2 and my HQ 100A, and he was slumming one night. And we started talking and became friendly, and he gave me the kick in the pants I needed to finally, get my tickets. You're using ham equipment, get your damn ham license.
It's the Battle of the Boroughs.
That's right. My burrow can hold more maize than your burrow.
Hey, the band is stretching out. I'm going to bail out and head to 160, and I'll catch you gentlemen later. Good night, George, Clark. The band is taking a nosedive. W1IA.
Good night, Brent.
See ya. Hey, senor, I don't like your burro.
Bruno can do anything Rabbit can do.
It's Moose and Squirrel, Natasha. Moose and Squirrel.
No, that was Bugs Bunny with the Russian bear and the circus.
Oh, okay. Very good. Yeah, I'm a Bronx boy. Maybe that's why, I mean, I like Mark, but we've never been warm and fuzzy, you know what I'm saying?
Well, Mark, you have to know Mark, too, because he's very well-grounded, and he's direct and a little sardonic sometimes, but he's a really good guy, and he is definitely sharp. And you're from the Bronx. My wife is from the Bronx. 224th Street and White Plains Road. I don't know if you talk to Phil, who gets in here a lot, W2PHL. He's still in the Bronx. And Mel Blanc actually always said the voice for Bugs Bunny in his head, he combined the Brooklyn and Bronx accents to come up with Bugs Bunny's voice.
Well, Mel Blanc was quintessentially New York sounding, so I don't know whether it's possible. WB2GCR. And Yeah, okay, well, that's fine. Yeah, I looked up Phil on QRZ. I figured out where he is. Yeah, he's still there. It's amazing. I bailed out a long time ago now and did not really go back, which is okay. I don't think I want to be down there today. And what's amazing to me is that houses in the same blocks, the same neighborhood I grew up in, that at one time, not too long ago, well, now it's long ago, but anyway, houses that you really weren't thought of very highly are now going for absolutely crazy money, like way over $1 million for one particular house that my friend
went up north to pick it up. I think we paid talking or closer or further away from the mic, you're getting different highs and different lows.
Now this is now this is what I normally talk out here on it. So this will give you an idea. I was going back and forth on the mic a little bit, but I'm staying still now. This is about what I talk, and I've got the fin pretty thin, so it's not keying it up. So that sound pretty good?
Sounds excellent.
WA4 KM with the monitor on. It does sound good.
Yeah, now just see if you can find that little ART preamp and go into the balanced input in the back of the radio. And you may not even have to need the preamp. You might just put it in there, and the phase may be correct. But right now you're going from a balanced to unbalanced? You got some kind of mic adapter or something?
No, I'm just running straight in the front of the radio. I don't have any adapters or anything, but just the RF turns on the front of the radio with a CQ set. I'm looking at the graph going across there, and it looks like all the way across looks pretty good. The highs might be down just a little, but not much. It looks kind of balanced. What does that like on your very highs on the in or up. There's a little sag in the middle, not much, but other than that, it's pretty flat all the way across.
Yeah, I just think that the phase is a little bit out. So I think once you get it flipped, then you're going to just see a lot higher modulation peaks.
Yeah, the sound is a little more part of the audio.
Yep.
Didn't need much tweaking, did it?
No.
Yeah, this is the Kenwood 890. The new Kenwood 890, and we've got the EQ setting about RE27, and I'm running a little solid state American ALS. No, what is it? Yeah, I guess it is 1306 solid state. I'm running about 150 to 180 watts of current, and PC is around 500 watts. So there was a transmission on a live box plus JSCR with knob radio.
No problem. I don't talk shop too much on the air anyway. And hello, Gordon, again.
Man, Gordon is like the frequency weed. He just keeps coming back.
Like Frank Sinatra, right? Keeps retiring.
I'll be lucky if I can get one. It's just because I don't have the reach. Well, not that I don't have the reach. It's just that you're in kind of a hot spot, whereas I have no neighbors. most of the people that are within 30 miles of me, they're 80 years or older. That frustrates me too, because I wish. Tanya's laughing because I wish I did have people that were more into this up here, and the RF aspect of it is so cool. That's actually what kind of makes it fun. And I met a guy at a show I did recently, and he was like, "Look, I'll give you the box. I'll give you the box like tomorrow, and it's free, but you got to get on the air right away. You got to have a tower." I'm like, "Yeah, I got all that. That's fine." So. But like you said, helium keeps going up. It hasn't really been going down. We had the little decline in November, but
That is what it is. It's still a decent coin, and it makes sense to mine it. So, yeah, I got to get on that. I may give you a buzz tomorrow. I want to talk a little bit more about it.
All right, I'm looking at Milford, Pennsylvania. I'm sorry to hog it up here, but get on Helium Explorer. You can get right on it. Use the search for it. Get on Helium Explorer and punch in Milford, Pennsylvania. You'll see your map. I don't know if you know how to use it. Looks like you're going to have to use I would probably say a Yagi, and point it towards. Where are you going to point it towards? York, Kinnelon, that way. I know the antenna you should get. They're relatively inexpensive. And if you got some LMR 400 around, all you need is a box. But the problem is that if you're going to get the box from this guy, he's going to want some of the helium. So if that's okay with you, you might be able to do a 50-50 split. It doesn't use any electricity. It's 900 megahertz. It puts out 1 watt. But you're going to have to use a directed antenna up by where you are. And I think you'll do pretty good, actually, if you point it in that direction. You got to look at the map first. You'll see where your spots are. So take a look at Helium Explorer first. And then you'll see, what's going on, where you want to point that antenna. But to use an Omni by you, I think your earnings are going to be very low.
All right, so if you want to have a good laugh, so I've been on Helium Explorer before, but look for Port Jervis, New York, or Milford, PA. That's right where New York, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania come together. And look at the map. We are in like the dark zone. I would, like you said, I'd have to get a Yagi and shoot 900 megahertz, probably, square into like Wantagh, New Jersey, or even straight into New York City to try to get some connectivity, because there isn't squat going up on in my area. I would love to do it. I mean, I'm a big crypto guy. I do Ethereum mining here. I do Bitcoin mining, which is kind of pointless, but I like the Ethereum mining. I do good on that. But this whole thing is like, I'm so in the middle of nowhere, and that stinks. You guys, of course, when you look at Helium Explorer, you guys are bright green. You're like right in the middle. You're in a good spot.
Yeah, KC2UDZ. Decent. No, if you look, I put the name in. I'm telling you, I'm not in a great spot. You look at it. See how far I am for any real green. I got some little green around me, but not much, man. It's very little. So when I am using that Omni right now, I have I can switch to a 32 dB gain Yagi and 32 element Yagi and point it up north. And probably pick up a lot more, but I'm just messing around right now. I just stuck it up there to see what's going on, and it's making almost an HNT a day, so not bad. So it's making money. It's been up, and I have no complaints. I will, it's a lot of fun too. It's like playing with radio, doing ham radio stuff, because you can test out antennas. The Explorer, you can look at your signal strengths, everything on there, your signal to noise ratios. It's pretty cool. It really is. It's a lot of fun. So that's what I'm doing anyway, man. I'm making money. Who cares?
No, it's absolutely fun. Actually, I just brought you up. Magic Honey Flamingo, I see you. And come on, you're in a hot spot. You're in a good spot. I know it's not as big as being like right in New York City, but you're in a good spot for connectivity. I see how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. At least 12 connections. So, that's really pretty good. If you look at Milford, PA, Tanya's laughing in the background. She's like, "Yeah, there's nothing." Trust me, we've thought about. I love crypto, and yeah, you've got like all these green dots around you, and I've got like nothing. It's terrible, so sad. I love crypto mining, but I'm not really in a good spot for helium. Although, then again, like, what do they say? If you build it, they will come. So maybe I'll try it. I don't know. I got to see. I got to get on board with this guy again. He says he'll give me a free box if I hook it up, and, And, yeah, he's going to take a percentage, and I'm fine with that. I don't mind. It's just the fun of doing it.
Well, then if you're okay with that, then just do it for the fun of it, if anything. What the hell? You got no investment, man. All you got to do is put the antenna up there. Say you made $20 a day. Hey, $20 a day is $20 a day you didn't have in the beginning. Plus, you can mess around with antennas and stuff, you know. I think it just looked at it for having fun. But it's going to be, I have a feeling it might become quite productive since I've only been up not for long at all. So, that's, yeah. So that's the deal. And if, I could always talk to you. That's not a problem. I could always give you a call tomorrow or something. So you want to call me, whatever. I think I got your, I know how to get in touch with you. That's not a problem. But for anybody else, it's just something we're doing. And it pertains to RF. And that's why I wanted to do it. Everything else, the Bitcoin mining and everything, it takes way, way, way too much energy. Your electric bills, everything else. This thing uses nothing. It's a box. It's about the size, two packs of cigarettes, about that size, and it uses nothing. And the traffic on the internet is relatively minuscule as far as the data it uses. So I think it's a win-win situation personally.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's the fun thing about it. It's RF related, so it's kind of into the world of ham radio. You know, my Ethereum mining is totally CPU, and I do fine with that. But this is extra cool because you're dealing with RF antennas, towers, and reach into other places. I wish more people in northwestern New Jersey were doing it. Can I reach Wantagh, New Jersey? I see a lot of spots there. Beamerville, Branchville. Yeah, maybe. But the river is always a bit of a challenge, so I got to see if I can hit that. But cool. No, thanks for jumping on, Ken. I got to reach out to this guy again and see if I think the free hardware box would be the clincher.
Yeah, I don't want to hog it up too much. Point it right at Franklin. Right between Franklin and McAfee. Right between there, man. You'll be styling. You'll make some money. Trust me. Yeah. It's going to be antenna related. I'll tell you that right now. It is up as high as you can get that damn thing. 10 dB antenna at least. If you can, do something better than that.
Sammy and Dana.
Actually, the first antenna I put up, I ran in the backyard. I didn't even get the box yet. I ran in the backyard. Dug under all the crap. I took a 440 megahertz Yagi, brought it over. I took it all apart. I cut everything down. I cut everything down. Cut the whole thing down. Shortened the boom. Did all the calculations and built a 7-element Yagi for 900 megahertz. I scanned it. It was beautiful between 902 and 930. And that's the first antenna I put up there. And I was getting almost 45 miles off the backside of the Yagi. 45 miles off the backside. But it was a little thin local. So that's why I put the Omni up now, just to test that. So I'm testing antennas right now. That's what I'm doing. Because I just bring the tower down, put it up another antenna, and test it out. So that's what I'm doing. But I don't want to hog it too much, Mike. But it's a lot of fun.
I'm looking at the map, and I'm seeing down here in Danbury, there's a few. Not as many down in New York, but man, there's a few around here.
By you? Oh yeah, I'm looking right up the coast there. You're in a very thick area there. There's plenty, man. Trust me. Yeah, it's cool. Little box, 900 megahertz, and make a couple of bucks. What the hell? I don't know. I
play with antennas.
Yeah.
It's like a ham's dream.
Yeah, play with antennas and make money, not spend money. Well, I mean, you got to spend some money, but hey, what the hell? How you doing, Blaine? And Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody.
Are you going to be around the house this week?
I think you're looking in the completely wrong spot. I'm not in Milford, Connecticut. I'm in Milford, PA. I can't find a friggin' green dot anywhere I'm looking. I gotta get way over into Easton, New Jersey. So I got like one guy in Gold Key Lake who isn't too far away. One guy up in Lackawaxen. I don't know. But yeah, I gotta try it. And like you said, it's just fun. The bigger the reach you can get, that's where you're gonna see some returns. So I want to try it. And yeah, No worries about this is worthwhile conversation for ham radio topics as far as I'm concerned. And Happy New Year, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff. So glad you hopped on the radio, Ken. Love following your progress on the various pictures that you post with the cars and stuff. So I'll keep you posted. I'll let you know. I got to reach out to this guy who wants to give me a free machine, and maybe I'll get that hooked up and get that transmitter up on the tower. I got plenty of antennas for it. Just got to wire one up, and I got plenty of cable for it. So no major investment on this side. Could be a lot of fun. Anybody listening, pay attention. Helium. Look it up.
Yeah, I think somebody was underneath here. Whoa, talking away. Okay. Yeah, do that. Yeah, you keep your eye on that. It's great to knock the name down.
Getting cold up here.
Whatever the hell the name of this thing is. Magic Honey Flamingo. Some of the names are great, man.
Blowing out of the north at
I love it.
probably 25 miles an hour.
Anybody else? I think the band's starting to go along. I'm gonna bounce out of here. After 9 o'clock, I'm starting to get sleepy, getting old. So Ken, Carrie, and Mike, and Tanya, and everyone else, Happy New Year, and I'll catch you all on tomorrow. Big one, GTU. See you later, Blake. Good to talk to you, man.
73 Ken and Carrie. Happy New Year. All that fun stuff. Hopefully everybody does great. Let's hope 2022 is much better than 2021. And if anybody else wants to hop in there, I think the whole I gravitate towards crypto. It's a fun conversation for me, but hey, we can change on a moment's notice. So if you want to talk about whatever, jump in now. K3FEF, Kilo 3, Fox Echo Fox. This is Michael in Milford, Pennsylvania.
North Hillsboro, Texas.
Yeah, I guess not. Got some slot buckets coming in now. Bands go along.
Well, this week, I'm not sure if it's going to be Thursday or Wednesday. It might even be Thursday.
Anybody else? Anybody in here? KC2UDZ. I think Mike's in here. I'm in here.
Drag a trailer with me just in case. You got a couple items I might be interested in anyway.
I guess not, Mike. All right. Mike, have a great night. You need me, you got my number, or else I can call you, whatever. Have a good night. Say hi to Tanya for me, and I'm getting out of here. K3FEF from KC2UDZ.
Roger that. Have a good night, Ken. KC2UDZ. And say goodnight to Carrie for me. And yeah, I might give you a call tomorrow. I just want to talk about it a little bit. I'm still trying to fully understand the marketing implications of it. But, yeah, I guess we lost everybody else. Probably not just because of us, but because it's getting late. But anything RF related, I think it's a fun conversation and worthwhile of ham radio listeners. So, glad we brought it up, and I learned a little bit. I'm going to check out this map tonight. And but right now, I got to go fix myself another drink. I may move up to 38, 85. I think there's a whole other QSO going on up there. So again, good night, guys. Have fun. Happy New Year. Let's hope 2022 is in this whole COVID era. I'm looking forward to seeing people again. That's what I want to do. Get out and have fun. So 73's guys, good night. We are QRT here, K3FEF.
All right, Mike. I'll be around tomorrow. No problem. K3FEF from KC2UDZ. I'm out of here.
Man, what are you talking about?
Sorry, Brian, then you can turn it back to them. I remember it was something GEX for Jacksonville. But anyway, you know who you are. This is WA4KM.
Okay, I had was that 7 WA4KM? I could not, there was somebody tuning up in there and the band was fading, so I did not copy most of the nets you were talking about. Maybe just, feeding the net.
Oh my God. Yeah. What? Give me the nets again, there, Kevin.
You're telling Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night on 3885. At 5:30 Eastern time for pre-net, and 6 o'clock is the net, and it's all the same frequency and same time. But the Thursday night is actually the Florida West Coast Gulf Coast Pilot Society net. But you remember that?
Yeah, Monday night, Tuesday night, and Thursday night. Pre-nets start at 5:30. Nets actually start at 6. And the one on Thursday is the Gulf Coast Violet net, which I'm sure you can get into, but those are the AM nets, and they're on 3885. So you might want to hop in there and jump in and talk to a few of the guys on the net.
I copied you that time. Not very good. I will do that. In the process of remodeling the condo we bought on the ocean. So pretty much waking up on dawn and sunrise. Project, so it makes it easy. And like I said, I put another radio on there at some point. I wrote BMW 5100 and I've used for years. That was my TV transmitter back when I was a teenager in Albany, New York. Now that I'm in my 50s, I still carry it with me. So WB2JIX, I'm not sure who that term is. So that's when you guys are going to take it.
Believe me, sitting behind me, 2 Graham Titan 2As, which are my old CB sets. And I've got a 201, I think, AA, but I like the Tram Titan too because it's got the Collins mechanical filter and the speech clipper and has some of the cleanest audio on the air. Those are my 2 favorite rigs. And, 80 dB down at 5 kilohertz or so, 80 dB down at, like the adjacent channel is 80 dB down, so, great old rigs, so, and I still have those and I keep them. Hey, Richard, I wanted to ask you a question about your microphone.
All right, go ahead, Wham. Ask away.
Okay, so, I assume that there's a couple wires come off the element in the microphone and go down into the base of the mic. Is that correct?
I would assume it's HM12, Howell HM12 with the PTT switch on the. It's about like a Howell HM10.
Okay. Does it have the 4-pin plug on the back or something?
It's got that blue XLR 5 pin on the back side of the microphone.
So, a couple and 2 for audio.
Yeah, I would assume so.
So, you could modify the mic. What you would want to do, you might want to, if you can get into the element without damaging it, you could go up on the element and just reverse the wires on the element of the mic, or you can try to reverse the wires down the 2 audio wires coming off of the mic down on where the plugs in. And I'm going to assume what's in the mic, you probably just have 2 twisted wires going down there, and one of them's not shielded, so it doesn't really make any difference. But you can probably reverse those wires if you can get to it without destroying the whole microphone. And then what you're going to see that thing keying up about 100 and some watts, and when you modulate, it's going to be modulating probably 400 to 500 watts or more.
Hey, or you could just buy that little ART thing, Richard, like I did. It's only like $30-something bucks. You can plug it in that phase. He's talking about the phase. You plug the phase in and out. and you just plug that mic cord in it, you know, after you're soldering and changing the wires, right, slam, and you can just take and push a button called the phase in or out is what he's trying to get it. Because one way it won't drive as much, and the other way it'll drive the damn socks off of it, right, Jeff?
Yeah, but that's not a standard XLR plug. That's a 5-pin. So it's going to be a pain in the ass to do that. But if you can get to the mic element itself, or right down there where the two wires hook, and I'm going to assume one of them, they're not shielded, just reverse the wires on the inside the microphone, either down where they plug in, or or where they go to the pins, or up on the mic element. It's probably going to be easier to do it on the pins. That's going to reverse the phase, and I guarantee you're going to see a whole lot more on peak envelope power on AM.
It won't. This thing will work for me. It won't hurt it when I go to sideband like that.
Won't make a difference. It won't do anything on sideband.
That's for AM. It's fine the same on sideband, Richard. It's just phasing it on AM only. It won't affect sideband at all.
I can show you what phase reversal does.
Let's tear this HM12 up. I've got another one sitting right here. I might try another one that's sitting here first. So if I tear it up, well, then I'll tear into this one. If I tear it up, well, then y'all won't hear me for a while, hey?
Well, don't do it then. Well, the thing about it is, though, he's not telling you if it's in phase, it ain't going to be no different than that. It'll be a whole lot less.
Hey, Richard.
Yeah.
Okay, I got a switch here. I can flip mine, so I'd have to look. And I have to add this. But anyway, so this is one way. I might even have mine in the wrong direction. And yeah, there's the other way. So the difference is, so let's say that's 66 watts, and when I'm modulating, it's modulating to 290 to 300, and I'm going to flip the phase reversal back, and I'm still seeing the same 66 watts, but when I'm modulating, I'm seeing peaks of 400.
I've seen it too on the estimator.
I don't know if you can tell any difference in quality of sound or not. Probably didn't make any difference.
What are you trying to do? Say my signal on the estimator down there on you swinging in reverse, or what?
Yeah, basically, no. It's what it is the phase. It's just your voice, and everybody's voice is different, and it goes into the microphone, and the microphone's going to see that voice as it's either especially low. People with low voices, a lot of times. Power in the voice is actually swung down below the negative line, and then when a transmitter sees that, it tries to clip it. You're not seeing it, and if you just reverse the wires, all that power goes up above the negative line and just increases the peak envelope power to the point that you can actually modulate above 100%. And right now it sounds like you're really not even hitting 100%. So, yeah, you're going to see a whole lot of difference, and you can watch it right on the watt meter, and you don't even have to have a scope. You can watch it right on the watt meter, and you'll be shocked. You'll go, damn.
Don't forget mine's in here.
What's that WA4WQQ?
I mean, I may try that one, but, I don't know.
Just look at the mic you're not using. Just take it apart, down there at the bottom, and look at it. Don't change anything. See if you figure out that, where the two audio wires are, and just flip them over. That's all you're going to do. Just where they hook the one pin and the other pin, you're just going to reverse them. That's all you're going to do.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. All right, let me put a standby. I got to truck the hall, check the water closet table. It's a little low.
Okay, WA4W.
WA4WQQ.
Sure.
WA4KM.
10-4 MTC.
Hey, Bruce.
Hey. Hey, Bruce. How you sounding good? How you first time you're hearing me? Y'all sound pretty good?
Yeah, I want to come down here and see what it sounded like.
Yeah, we didn't really change much on it. I think we changed, I can't remember, maybe 2421. I ain't going to look. All we did, we just moved it down one click on each one. That's all it was. It could have sounded fine. It really needed touching. You know, most of them don't sound good, as they say on the right side, or whatever, you use your eye comma camera, but these things, I'm listening on the monitor, I like them. I mean, it sounds great. What is Bruce?
All right, I believe there was somebody else in there that said, hey, wham.
Yes, WW4US.
Hey, go ahead. I'm wanting to say Guy.
Hello. How you doing, man? I just cruising the van and heard y'all all day.
Yeah, we get here. We get down here every now and then. Kevin just got him a new 890, and we with it. Man, where you been? I have not heard you forever, Goob. So what's up?
Nothing. I was just cruising the van, and I heard you signal. I said, man, that sounds like we're down here. And you slipped down, and I went to AM, and here you are. So, yeah, it sounded good. Yeah, I'm not running any power. Just about 100 watts out of the transmitter. I put my building up about 400 watts. I'm running this shit box at 9,000 MP.
It's not necessarily a shit box. It sounds okay.
All right, well, listen, I'll let you guys get carrying on, but Happy New Year to you.
Hey, Goob, are you going to make it down to Orlando this year?
I don't know.
I wish you would, man. I don't know how much longer I'm going to hang out down here. I mean, the village is bought up property all around me, and 5 acres of my grounds now annexed into the villages. They're doubling my taxes, doubling my house insurance, and I'm getting real close to selling out and moving to Alabama or something, where I can actually retire. And I don't owe any money on anything, but I don't want to give everything I got to the government for taxes.
Long time, but I got it. I got you. Yep. My mom just sold her place out there on Lake Hardin. She's got a beautiful place. But anyway, hey, listen, everybody's around there, so you guys have a great New Year.
New Jersey Station is standing by. New Jersey Station.
All right, Google, before you go, do you have a pencil handy?
Yes, I do. I'm somewhat of a fan.
Okay. 352 457 8653. If you get down to Orlando, call me, leave me a voicemail. I may have you in that phone, I don't know. But if you leave me a voicemail, I'll know who it is. Hey, man, you can come spend the Ham Fest with us, and we'll grill and stuff there. And then we'll go get some Kobe steaks, and we're going to come on out to the house. A lot of guys going to be staying out here at the house. You're welcome to come out, and we'll grill some nice Kobe steaks. Have some beer and just have a good old time. And I would love to see you. You can bring your wife if you'd like, or if she doesn't want to fool with us, send her to Disney.
Yeah, that sounds great to me. All right, Jeff, I got your number. 352.
Where's the Ham Fest at?
8653, I got it.
All right, Goob. Yeah, please do use it, brother, man. I miss you.
All right, man. You take it easy. Happy New Year.
Where's the Ham Fest?
All right, see you, Goob. And the 2 station, go ahead. Happy New Year, and best of health to you and your wife, Goob.
Appreciate it, man.
Where's the Ham Fest going to be at? Go ahead.
Okay, the 2 station, go ahead. All the guys down south is kind of getting you.
Yeah, this is New Jersey Station. Where's the Ham Fest? This is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima. Where's the Ham Fest going to be at?
That's going to be down in Orlando, Florida, but there's also another 2 in there trying to get to Goob. Let him jump in if the Goob hasn't jumped back out, and then I'll come right back to you.
All right, I'll stand by.
Goob, you got a caller in there.
Yeah, but I don't want to hold it up, guys. Whoever that is, good evening to you. Happy New Year.
I'll catch you later. WA4KM.
I'll be up in a little bit.
All right.
Hey, the guy yelling at Goob, what was your call again?
It's Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima, New Jersey station. You saying something about a Hamfest that?
Yeah. Let me grab this other guy and I'll get back with you. The Hamfest. You guys are doubling. The guy yelling at Goob. I'm not Goob, but yelling at Goob. Go ahead.
Did you go away?
I'm still here, Brian. I hear you. Happy New Year to you. Nice to hear you in there, Brian. I don't want to tie it up because it's whatever's got it going on down here, but nice to hear you, Brian.
I'm just saying hello. This is Master Yoga. This is my old password.
Okay, all right. Have a good one. Happy New Year. Thanks very much for your
All right, Goob, take care of yourself, man, and please try to make it Orlando. We don't know how many more we got, so yeah, brother, we need to get together and have fun while we can. There will be stuff on the grill and beers to drink and probably something else as well. Peter. Okay, the 2 station with the excellent sounding audio that kept asking something. I can't remember what it was. Go ahead, sir.
Yes, this is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima, New Jersey station. I just want to know where was this Hamfest at. The name is Darryl, and I'm in New Jersey, and I'm on the Gates transmitter. Go ahead.
Orlando, they do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, but usually we buy. All of us guys down here, we buy tickets and then go in on Thursday and set up and scalp the boneyard a little bit. But it just turns into being a big ham radio fellowship for a bunch of us guys down south, and you would be more than welcome to
join. What's the date on that Hamfest, guy?
I would have to look. It's going to be like the 10th. Let me pull up my calendar. It's going to pull up. Calendar. Okay, it looks like it's Friday, the 11th, 12th, and Sunday the 13th. Usually we try to get down on the 10th. We get tickets and spaces, and that allows you to get in, and we go in on the Thursday, which is on the 10th, and get our tent set up and all that kind of stuff, and hang around, and sometimes we know guys, and we cut some deals back and forth, or this or that, or you might have brought something that a buddy said, hey, bring that and I'll grab it. That kind of stuff. And then usually Friday when, we get there just before the Hamfest open. And from Friday through Saturday, it's wide open. And most of the guys here, they stay at my home while they're down here. A lot of times we'll have 12 people staying here. And then they, head out Sunday morning. We all say our goodbyes. They head out Sunday morning. I hit the couch and nap for a while, and that's about it.
And this is in Orlando, you say?
Yeah, Orlando Hamcation. It's really easy to get to. It's right off of, you can go right off the 408 and get off on, you can get off Hiawassee exit. I'm trying to think what the next one up. But then you get on 50 and head east, and you'll go right into the fairgrounds.
What's the name of the fairgrounds?
I suggest try to avoid I-4. the eastern section of I-4 because they're having a lot of construction. So you want to miss that if you can. But you can hop on 408 helps, but you can also hop on what is it? Something 217. It's been a while since I've been down there. I used to work down there all the time. I think the 217 you pick it up at Sanford and it's toll road, and it'll dump you right out on the 408. Kirkman Drive. It'll dump you out on Kirkman Drive. Come off to Kirkman off the exit. You're going to make a right, and it's less than half a block, and you'll make a left on the Colonial Drive, and you'll have about a quarter of a mile, and you'll turn right into the
Okay, I appreciate that info. I'll probably look it up on QRZ or something. I'll go to see what's happening. All right, I appreciate you. Sounding good up here in New Jersey. I'm in New Jersey, and the name is Daryl, and calls is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima. And I'm on a Gates transmitter. So 73 and Happy New Year to you. So take care, my friend. This is Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima on the BC Gates transmitter, New Jersey station. I'll be standing by.
I knew you were running something up there because it sounds beautiful. What kind of finals you got in the Gates?
I'm using the 833s. I'm using all original tubes and everything. 833s, over.
But yeah, have you tried any of them risky 833s as replacements, or have you had enough American-made 833s to take care of the situation?
This is all American 833s, so I'll be looking for stuff like that. So this is it for now. Original all 833 American tubes, over.
Yeah, beautiful, aren't they? Just lovely to look in there and see them things with the dual plate caps on them, and get that nice little red glow to them. I mean, what a beautiful amp.
Yes, sir. All right, then. Well, take care. You sound good, and we'll talk again. So take care. Happy New Year all over again. Me and this Gates BC 1T transmitter, New Jersey station. I'll be standing by.
Yeah, it's old school, man. Sounding great. Well, this is a modern rice box. It's an SDR. It's an Anon 7000. I'm running an RE27 into it. I do have an outboard Volumax 4300. It's a CBS Labs Volumax 4300 asymmetrical peak limiter going. And that helps. And running into the Veritron AL82 tonight. Hello. Not running much power. Keying up about 65 watts of carrier and modulating it to about 400, which is making everything run really, really cool. What gets the signal out is up at about 80 some feet. I've got a 3-element wire beam pointing right at you, brother. Have a great night. Happy New Year to you from WA4WAM, and be great if we see you at Orlando.
73, my friends. Take care. You're sounding good in New Jersey. Kilo Delta 2 Alpha Foxtrot Lima on the Gates BC 1T transmitter, New Jersey.
Sounds good. Well, when you get to the Hamfest, we'll be the guys there having the most fun, so we'll be easy to find.
Okay.
What's up, Richard?
Alright, while you were talking to him, I swapped the mic element wires around, and it did show me a little bit better there. Over?
Oh, yeah, I knew it would. It's amazing how getting the phase on that audio is important.
Yeah, well, does it sound any different?
Yeah, you sound loud.
Okay, I didn't change the tone of my voice or change anything. Just move those two wires around.
It cleaned it up. So what kind of, I mean, as compared to before, you were saying you was keying, what, 140 and modulating to 300 or something? So what are you seeing now?
It's modulating up there about 750, 800.
Yeah, nice, big difference, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. It looks better on the waterfall pan adapter I got also.
Yep, it's actually cleaner because you're not getting those negative peaks going down below 100% now. And so you add that up, I mean, you're getting a good solid 100%, maybe a little bit more now. So, and you can tell your audio is just clean and loud. I think you might have been on sideband there, guy. Try it again. Yep, but I'm on AM. You're on sideband. Okay, I'm on. I see you up the band now. 3878.
A while now, you can hear folks just a little bit off on him, but you know, it's hard for you to make out what they're saying. It sounds like they're on sideband.
Well, I tell you what, Richard, that thing sounds kind of broadcasty now.
All right, let's try it now.
Let's hear you.
Okay, is this thing working now? Any AGJ?
It's pretty good, Rock. You might be just a little bit hot on the audio, or you might need to do the same thing, crank the phase around. Where you at now?
I'm still in Ohio there, man. Still in Ohio. And I'm on the Flex 5000.
Oh, okay. Well, crank the audio back just a hair.
Okay, let me see if we can reach the compressor here. Okay, there. I turned it back.
I'm a whole lot better.
Fix you right up, man.
That did it, huh?
Oh, yeah. I still got my Flex 5000. I run it on AM a good bit. It actually runs on AM better than my non does.
Well, I tell you what, I'm hearing you fine. I'm driving the BTI with it here.
So, are you still out like Minnesota or something?
Nope, I'm in Ohio now.
And you just go everywhere.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
I want you to know that the Volumax 4300 is still sitting here as an operating piece of equipment in the shack.
Yeah, I heard you tell that guy that you were using it there.
Always use it, man. There ain't nothing any better.
I know, man. This thing's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know how old would you say that thing is, Rock?
Probably in the early 70s.
I would say. What did I do? I traded you an ICOM 745 or 750 or something for it.
Lord, I think it was a 751.
Well, 751, yeah.
Man, it's been a long time ago.
I still think I got the better end of the deal.
Yeah, maybe so.
Maybe so. Good to hear you. I can't believe it's New Year's here. Man, I was afraid you were dead.
What's that?
Said, I can't believe here it is, the New Year's. I get to hear you, and I was afraid you were dead, brother.
Oh, no, not yet, man. We're still hanging in there.
Yeah, you can't kill. Damn tough to die.
That's right. You got that right. Yeah, we're just kind of hanging in here doing what we do.
Let's see there. Crank the input up on that peak limiter a little bit. They didn't go too far, did I?
Oh, no, you're fine there now.
Just noticed it was barely doing any limiting, and I said, we need to fix that.
Well, you're doing great now. It's limiting up the storm.
All right. What's the equipment up there now?
let's see.